guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. Guys, are you ready for this? Are you ready to get rid of all the junk and take a look at the Nolan Wells mystery update? Guys, let me tell you. Now, this blows my mind. Shocking new audio and video sparks outrage. Now, I'm going to ask you, who's lying? Okay, we're going to talk about that because guess what? Today, we're talking about Nolan Wells. This is episode 2. You can go back to the playlist and watch part 1 in depth. All right, this is Nolan Wells Horn Island Mystery. And I say that because, guys, nothing else has happened since then. What is happening, however, are these timelines and narratives that are throwing everybody for a loop and having huge speculation to where these kids, the friends, have to now hire lawyers. We got family members, mom and dad, Nolan Wells, just straight up lying. Either they're lying or the friends are. But guys, once I get into it today, we're going to go over the new video, the new audio, witness accounts, conflicting timelines, and what the actual cause was. Authorities say accidental drowning. An independent autopsy has listed a cause of death as undetermined, and you may know the parents did an independent autopsy and they say the throat was missing. So we're going to get into all that. Let me say hello, everybody. In the meantime, do me a favor, come on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. That's Horn Island back there. You guys know how I like to change my scenes. All right, let me say hello. Hey, illegally retired. Good to see you. Hey, I'm happy you're here. You guys don't forget to hit the like button. DJ's allegedly, in my opinion, my mods can certainly drop your link. I hope you're doing well. DB Bentley, how you doing? Libra Cole, Kel's in the house. One Love Revolutionary. It's been a minute. Tell Mama I say hello. Give her a big hug. All right, Mo and More and Kimberly and Shadow. What would we do without our Shadow Lion? I don't know. All right, let's continue, guys. I know a lot of people are covering this case, but it's going this way and that way and this way. And even Nancy Grace doesn't seem to know what's up or what's down. Now, when I get my mom saying, hey, are you going to cover that Nolan Wells thing? The case, the one with the boy in the island, the boat. Your brother saw a new video, a new audio, and it shows that they killed him. He came back on the boat and they took his life and they beat him and it was It says it. It's all there. Guys, that is not what happened and that is not what is happening. So if you're only getting bits and pieces here and there, that's because there's a lot of channels that have a clip and conspiracies. Today we're going to debunk the junk, debunk the conspiracies. I'm going to tell you what that damn conspiracy was and follow it up with facts. So you could say, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's wrong. I'm going to show you. I'm not just going to tell you. So let's get ready today. Come on in. Inquisitive P. Hello, Maggie. Midnight Lace. Always a pleasure. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Kel's always awesome. She's the first mod in the house. Mama Pearl's here. Lady for Justice. Who else? I know Sadie's mama, big hug. Number one, baby. Number one. Now, trigger warning again, as soon as I come on and I talk, I could be very triggering. All right, depending on whether you like what I say or not. All right, come on in, guys. Come on in. What's going down, everybody? Yes, guys. Here's the thing, Mighty Mo, and I'm so glad that you guys just freely talk and chat and you understand how we work here. You know that these questions, you're right, Mighty Mo, so many questions. That's all we have are questions. I want to show you today how the so many questions are turning into these conspiracy theories. It's directly coming from a big portion of Nolan Wells' parents, and they're spinning a narrative that these boys were racist and it was a racial thing against their son. Guys, they did a third press conference today for almost an hour, a little over an hour and a half. Third press conference. And guys, nothing is new. All right. So whoever's putting these narratives and making this a racial tension and blaming these boys, why don't you gather those boys that were on the boat, all 7 of them, put them in a room, interrogate them, let the police do it, whatever you got to do. You get them in there. They were everyone on the boat and you question the shit out of them. There were 300 people on that the island. Somebody saw something, and this is just bullshit. In my opinion, it's a cash grab for everybody that's involved. All right. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because you know what? This is a straight up cash grab, gaslighting. I don't even know what else, but you know what Nolan's friends did say? That what they did say is, no, he's not. No, DJ's. Oh, Vincent's a troll. Yeah. Where's Vincent? I want to kick Vincent out myself. Did you guys already boot him? Oh, bye, Vincent. We'll see you again soon. All right. Hey, Oscar. Good to see you, man. All right, guys. Yeah. Get that guy out of here. Right? You're done. Okay, so yeah, there's things. Those questions are translating to the media and to anybody that's trying to find a narrative to the narrative that fits for them. Again, 3 press conferences with no new information, but a lot of questions and speculation, right? And it makes me mad when I see this kind of thing, because if this, thank you, Cal, I ban them so I can ban them and they can never come back. You guys can time them out and I can ban them. They can never come back. And then I go double up behind the scenes and I block them. So if you guys get out of sort, I'm just going to block you. I don't have to see you again. There's that. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you. I mean, if this were my child, I would do so many different things than this. His friends, as a matter of fact, and I hate to say that, but when you're an 18-year-old boy, you love women, you love sports, and you love your friends. All right. One of the friends that claims to be his best friend, that the parents claim to not even know the guy and pointing the finger at him being racist and killing him, a racially motivated murder that we don't know about. Well, guess what? That's what they're doing to those young men. And they are saying Nolan Wells would be turning over in his grave if he were to see this narrative being spit and the lies and the suing. It's bad. There's death threats, guys. This is not just a little bit we're online and we got a troll talking shit. This is actual death threats to real people. All right. And that's not okay. That's not okay, because I don't think anything was racially motivated in this case at all. All right. Is Nolan really gone? Yes. Let me tell you real quick, for those of you that have not been here, Nolan Wells' Horn Island mystery is what everybody's calling it. Now, look, on July 4th, this July 4th, 2026, 18-year-old Mississippi, that might be a key for you because of the racial tensions, Mississippi college football player Nolan Wells vanished during a 4th of July boating trip to Horn Island, which you see behind me, with a large group of high school friends. Now, if you can bet on anything, you would bet on high schoolers talking, especially when you have 300 people on the island, 30 people here, 10 people on the boat, 7 people later, and a bunch of people filming. You'd have heard something. All right. What happened though is he went to this island with his friends. And guys, what I'm telling you right now is about 5 sentences worth, and it's still the same information that came out since day one. 4th of July, Nolan Wells goes on a boating trip with his friends. The group leaves the island at 4:31 p.m. on 4th of July without him. All right. Now, his friends claim he stayed behind to talk to a girl, a claim contradicted by the girl herself. Now, the girl herself says that she saw him on the island, all right, but she only saw him when they were like, "Hey, dude, get on the boat, get on the boat." She didn't stay there with him, is what she says. All right, so now we got new videos, new audio, GPS data, witness accounts, and much conflicting timelines and stories. Now, Wells' body was found 2 days later, guys, in a shallow water near the island. Authorities say that the evidence points to accidental drowning, while an independent autopsy from Nolan Wells' parents causes an undetermined and notes a possible head injury. The case has drawn national attention due to the racial dynamics, guys, contradictory statements, missing phone data, and ongoing questions about what happened in the final hours. Everybody's pointing at everyone. So we're back. July 4th, 2026, happened Horn Island, Mississippi. 4th of July boating trip, and it ends 2 days later with Nolan being dead, them finding him dead on the island. Now, authorities say the group arrived that day about 11 in the morning, 11:14 a.m. They say they spent the day drinking and celebrating. Now, I ask you guys, are you allowed to drink at the, hold on. Are you allowed to drink if you're a minor? And that's why when we hear the audio, all right, they're definitely trying to get something when you hear the audio and you see the video, right? Another Vincent came in. I call the SA Vic. No, you don't get anything unless you pay me. Pay me. That way you can start a rumor that I only talk to you if you pay me. All right, get on it. Come on, Vincent. Whatever the hell your name is. All right. So yes, a lot of people don't know a lot about this case. Nothing's changed since day one, except narratives, 3 press conferences, and a lot of racial conflicts. All right. Now, today was the first day that something else did happen. And that was the press conference number 3 that came out. And there's a tiny bit of information. They say breaking news in the press conference. I'm going to show you a 3-minute news video that tells you the breaking news in about 2 seconds of it. Everything else is all the same things that we know. And absolutely, that those parents are also, they lost their son. Absolutely. I never ever would say that they are horrible. I never said that. Never would say that. But what I'm saying is I'm going to show you the complete contradiction to what's really happening and to what you're hearing is happening. So that has nothing to do with anything that I'm saying at all. All right. So don't my narrative is not that everybody is a victim. Right now, everyone's a victim, including his friends. Okay. They have not believed to do anything wrong, and to point the finger at them like that, it's wrong. It's wrong. All right. Bridget says, no, I believe Nolan's mother, Christine, is turning her pain and anger. And I agree with that. Losing her son, that's what she's choosing. And it's sad. And I agree with you there. You can go one of 5 ways when you lose a child. And this is one way to go. Now, I don't think the parents are horrible. I think they're victims, but I got to tell you my opinion. And I absolutely think that the Ben Crump announcement today, a cash grab. They are, in my opinion, manipulating a mother that has pain and wants answers. Straight up. All right. And that's how I feel about it. But I don't have any ill will towards the parents. So we don't victim blame here, despite what Vincent might come on and say about whatever the hell. Right. And it's probably the same damn girls. I'll name some of the trolls if you want me to. I know who exactly they are. All right. So they can say whatever they want. But there you go. Yes, yes, and yes. And it's so simple. So let's just get into it. All right. Kristen, thank you for being a member for 16 months. Thank you so much. Now, look, here's Nolan Wells. I gave you the backstory in less than 10 minutes. Now we come, hold on real quick. Before I do that, I want to show you the independent autopsy. And for those that say this guy, and again, I'm playing both sides here. There is no side except for Nolan Wells. So there's the autopsy, independent. People are saying it's garbage and the guy didn't have credentials. Well, this is the guy and he does have credentials. And this is the doctor that they paid privately to do the autopsy. Still nothing new has come out. All right. Nothing at all. So look at that. I'm not going to sit there and do a whole episode on this, but I will do like a 5-minute what the hell that means. All right. And then, guys, where else can you get this? Where else can you get this? 7 people aboard his boat. Those are the people that were on the boat. In the call, people are like, wait, what? He said 6. No, he said 7. Guys, if you're on a boat with 7 people, there's 6 other people plus yourself. Like, come on, man. Let's be real here. All right. Yeah, exactly. We don't stand for victim blaming. So if anyone does victim blame, then we can give them a warning and then time them out. Okay. Yeah, no, the trolls have been rampant lately, Kimberly, and I know who they are, most of them. So no worries. I can see who the channel is, where they made it, etc., etc. I don't care. But they just got me on a heated case, and it's heated because this is not okay. All right. So Melissa, hey girl, good to see you, and you're on time. What's up? Holly's back, my girl. Thank you. I missed you. I missed you being in chat. I see you other places, but listen, there are the 7 people that were in that boat. Okay. Including Katie. That's the girl. So let me go down here a little bit and tell you that group, authorities say that group is the one that contacted them ultimately when he didn't show up. Now, just because they contacted the mom and told her, and they're getting accusations that because they didn't have the phone, they did something nefarious. Because they called a tow boat to get their boat, they're guilty. Guys, I hate to tell you this, and I hate to say it because everyone says, oh, blah, blah, blah. We were a boating family before this. We bought a boat before we did Napa. And let me tell you, we almost sunk it. We had 4 people in a little ski-doo boat that were too heavy. And that's exactly what happened to us there. We had to get out and jump out and swim. I'm not going to do any of that. Don't worry. I'm over that. I'm over that, guys. Let's move on. All right. Yes, this is the update. So look, no matter what you see going on here and with these people, they are not given any kind of benefit of the doubt, and they're just being blamed. Again, multiple sources confirm that Nolan Wells traveled with a large boat and of nearly 24 original people across 3 boats. That's the beginning. Now, the individuals' names you can see up there, some that have talked. CNN, Javon Williams says Nolan never stayed behind, but he left. Katie, the unnamed girl, friends claim he stayed with. However, the girl told investigators that Nolan said he was returning to the boat. This is a contradiction that's central to this case. Now, Warren Hudson, who's a homeowner who has dock surveillance footage, captured the group preparing boats before departure. So, guys, we have TMZ's picture of a boat and others. Why is it that people are placing a picture of a guy in there and it's not real? They're putting a picture and saying that's Nolan, and I'll see other pictures that show him inserted elsewhere. And when that happens, guys, that wasn't from these dates. That was a month prior to. So this is just all BS. Other friends, not all the names have been released publicly. They're high school friends and the boys on the boat. So I say law enforcement gets those boys on a boat and the girl and question them. That's it. That's all. Let's start from ground one. How about that? All right. Let's start with this because this is what happened today, and then we're going to get into the details of the investigation and the conflicts. All right. Right now, the official cause of death has been stated, have stated evidence points toward accidental drowning. Though the investigation remains open, an independent autopsy that was commissioned by the family here, all right, that autopsy, we saw that I think last week or early this week, and the preliminary findings list cause and manner of death as undetermined. Possible head injury and discoloration. I know. This part was missing. They're trying to allude to the fact that maybe he was strangled. I get it. I have children too. I get it. Now, conflicting accounts of friends' statements, a girl's statement, and independent witnesses who saw Nolan as late as 6 p.m. on the island. All right. Now, the 911 call, the 911 audio is what's kicked this off. The 911 audio and the video of the boat, guys, that doesn't have Nolan on it. And if it does, it was prior to. Now, the enhanced audio from friends' distress has fueled speculation but remains uncovered. FBI is still assisting in the digital evidence review. But guys, nothing has freaking happened. All right. That's what happened. And there's no one that you could sit there and blame. All right. Yes, the audio was difficult to listen to. Yes, the boy was a jerk. They had been drinking all day. He seemed to be a bit out of sorts because they weren't 21. And he's like, shit, we gotta tow the boat. There's nobody here that's yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing. All right. But they're trying to make it in a different light. And I'll show you that today. I'm not just gonna tell you, I'll show you. All right. Yeah, it does. But listen, Susan, you're right. It fits a narrative for their agenda. Okay. Which I'm going to play both agendas today. You're going to see both sides. It's kind of like that dress. You remember that gray dress or the green, whatever it was, gray and green. And you got 50% of the people saying that's gray and 50%. That's what we're doing today with that call. All right. You guys can decide and just be respectful. All right. This is what happened today. The hour and whatever, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, all of it's right here, basically. This is all that happened.
Moments ago, the Wells lawyer, Ben Crump, announcing the family is hiring audio experts to review sound from the sinking boat call that was made by Nolan's friends. Crump pledging to get to the bottom of what happened as questions continue to swirl around what caused his tragic death.
We are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what.
And good, listen, I respect that. I respect having a third conference and getting people going, but not with this narrative. Okay, not blaming these kids that are getting death threats and have to lawyer up. And guys, if you watched his funeral, which I'm not going to do on here, I got to tell you, all they talked about as at his funeral were Black rights and all these kind of things that had to do with like him not being treated fair. It wasn't even about Nolan. It wasn't like Nolan was this great guy and blah, 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 blah. Nothing like that, guys. If you watched it, you'll know what I mean. It was all about their narrative and not about Nolan. And do you want to know why? It wasn't about Nolan because he didn't even have his friends there. The friends had been hanging out with him for years. Maybe not since he was a child, but those were his friends, guys. That's who he was hanging out with that day, and they couldn't go pay respects because the parents have now alienated them for no reason, in my opinion. But I'll show you. Thank you, Holly, so much. I do appreciate that. DB Bentley, thank you so very much. And Kristen, I didn't shout out the 16 months, but happy 16 months. And you're right. Listen, accidents happen with children and that happens too. It could happen, guys. It could be that there literally was a fight. You're absolutely right. But should we be blaming these people without? Yes, there you go. There is no evidence. There is no evidence for any of that. Let me play this through.
Happened to Nolan Wells. Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
The 18-year-old's body was found earlier this month on Mississippi's Horn Islands, 2 days after he disappeared during a July 4th boat trip with friends. NBC News national correspondent Aaron Gilchrist has been following this for weeks now. Aaron, Mr. Crump blatantly says the details of this case just aren't adding up. Now they're trying to obtain this audio.
Yep.
What were the big takeaways from today's presser?
So first, Sam, I would say that hearing again from Nolan Wells' parents was a big moment. And this was through tears, them saying again that they want people to come forward and share any information, any video, any photos that they may have. The attorneys representing Nolan Wells' parents said that they are getting 100 calls a day from people who in some cases have information that they're trying to offer and share. In other cases, they're not useful phone calls, but the parents again are asking people to come forward with any information that they may have. When you mentioned those, the audio recording.
Now, would you want to come forward if all of the people that were with you are being blamed? Would you come forward and tell what happened? Would you even come forward and tell what happened if you were a third party? All right. They have turned Nolan Wells into a Pookie. Yeah, I know. Listen, even the Black community is not pushing this narrative. Many of the Black community figures, Officer Tatum, guys, he's been on the forefront, says it's bullshit. All right. We're going to get into all that.
Of the call that was made from the boat that Nolan took to Horn Island to a towing company. NBC News obtained that audio first before anyone else did about 2 weeks ago. And so we've heard someone calling saying that the boat is sinking, that it's taking on water, and that they need help being towed. Ultimately, a tow was provided by someone else who was already there, who was not that towing company. Ben Crump has said that they want to have a deeper analysis of that call audio to understand if there's something audible in the background that may be useful in the investigation, Sam.
Right. So it is yet to be determined whether there could be some crucial information gleaned from the audio.
Kill switch. If you don't like this platform, you can keep going. I'm giving you my opinion, but I'm also giving you both sides. I think we can give an opinion and also present both sides, correct? Okay, kill switch. Bye-bye for now. You're being respectful, but if you come back and aren't, then I'm going to kick you out, all right? So there's no bias. This is me and what I've learned. And I just told you, I just gave you the information they have. And yet Nolan's funeral was disgusting. I agree. His friends, his family didn't get to speak. It was not about Nolan. I do too. He's at the forefront of this and I love it. But okay, well, I'll present both sides and I'll give you my part of it that goes with the evidence. How about that? Because I have a video that literally debunks the major portions of this case that completely just aren't true. I agree with that too. I agree. I think Katie knows more. Absolutely. That's why this case is in the predicament that's why this case is the way it is, because you have people like that can't see both sides and take a side without saying you're biased.
Audio, I guess we'll find out. But in the meantime, Aaron, court documents obtained by NBC News also show that Wells' parents issued subpoenas or had subpoenas issued to major social media companies. What are they hoping to get from that?
So Nolan's mother, Christine Wells Wansley, set up an estate, essentially, after the death of her son. And the estate is asking Meta, WhatsApp, Snapchat, TikTok, Life360, asking all these entities for whatever data they may have from Nolan's phone. You'll remember early on, his mother said that she believed there was content missing from Nolan's phone, content that had been deleted. And so now his estate is reaching out to these social media platforms and these communication platforms, trying to get whatever.
When you have a side, when you take all the information, Midnight Lace, and you put it on a scale, and this side weighs more heavily to say, okay, he was determined 2 days later to have died of drowning. They are looking into it, but we're not going to blame Bart and we're not going to blame all the friends that they did something nefarious, but that's what's happening. But just because it's an emotionally charged case, I think people are getting upset. But if you don't know how to communicate without throwing insults, maybe you need to go back to school and take communications course.
Data, videos, photo, messages, metadata, whatever they can from these entities to try to help and figure out exactly what happened in the hours before Nolan disappeared.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on.
So that's it. That hour and some odd minutes. That's it. Now I'm going to do this. I'm going to play some clips without much context. All right. Absolutely, Linda Pacheco. Somebody absolutely knows something. I agree. All right. So let me play this, but I'm not going to play it. You guys can talk about it. I'm not going to play it and go over it. I'm just going to play the audio. All right. This came from ABC News. I've listened to 10 different versions of this, anywhere from TMZ to Nancy Grace, all the way down to Plunder that has it with nothing on the screen, just audio. Okay. So I'm going to play this, and then we're going to get into this later on.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking.
This morning, more audio of the frantic call from the boat Nolan Wells was supposed to have taken to shore after celebrating July 4th with friends on a remote barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
And what do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
The caller told the dispatcher everyone aboard was unhurt and noted he and the passengers were young.
There are 0 adults on board. Nobody here is over the age of 21.
Documents obtained by ABC News show that boat set off for Horn Island just before 10 a.m. the morning of July 4th. Wells and his friends arrived at 11:14. For the next 5 hours, the boat was stationary until it left at 4:31 p.m. without Wells, moving at no more than 4 knots. Whatever problem the teens reported was resolved about an hour later at 5:25 when vessel regains normal operation and begins accelerating at 30 to 35 knots. Friends said they did not abandon Wells. Rather, the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources reported his friends saying Wells was in the company of an unknown female and that he chose to remain at the island. As searchers began scanning the island and surrounding waters, this email obtained by ABC News shows the preliminary information they were given, describing Wells as a black male, 6'1", 180 pounds, wearing shorts only. The Marine Patrol listed his alcohol intake as heavy. The state's autopsy, including the results of toxicology tests, is pending.
As long as we continue to remember him, his light will continue to shine through us all. Nolan, we love you. We'll continue to fight for you.
Wells was laid to rest last week. A source tells ABC News on the day of the funeral, his mother sent his friends legal notice to expect a lawsuit, instructing them to preserve evidence and not to delete anything on their phones. Nothing further from the Wells family about those impending lawsuits. Meanwhile, the district attorney has asked for patience in the investigation, saying minimal releases of information are meant to protect the integrity of the case.
So what's happening is people are filling in the blanks. All right. They're filling in the blanks with what they don't know. Thank you, Victor, for coming on in and say that. I understand boats too. And I understand what the bilge pump is. And when you say it's dead and you're not saying Nolan's dead, as we go and we get to that clip, maybe you'll stay here and talk with us. All right. Pieces does love her bow. Look at her. Look at the bow. Say hi. Hi, everybody. I'm super cute and I'm not biased. I just have an opinion. All right. I did. Yeah. Thank you, Victor. All right. We're going to keep going. Okay. So I did see you. I see you. I see you. One Love Revolutionary that says you don't get neck trauma from drowning, but I'm trying to figure out what the neck trauma is from the drowning that you're talking about, because nobody has determined it as neck trauma or drowning. They've said undetermined and accidental, or like not accidental, but no foul play. So that's not even there. Like that's not even there at all. So, but speaking of that, let's go into it. Let me put this bigger so you can see it for a second, and then I will go to it. So you got the neck structure. It was absent in the front. I agree with that. I saw them come on the news and say we couldn't find out about his neck because it wasn't there. We don't know if it's foul play because we don't have it all. All right. But it's not, though. That's the thing, is it's not, nothing's been found to do any of that. What you're saying, lungs full, nothing's happened to get there. Does that make sense to you? That we don't have the information. We should not try to fill in blanks in a predicament like this, where the kids are literally getting sued and in trouble. All right, I'm going to continue with a few more clips, and that way, hey, Amethyst, that way you can see what we're doing today. All right, so here's friend number one. All right, Officer Tatum. He had him and the other gentleman on his interview. This is a snippet. This is what he's telling us. And guys, if this guy gets caught lying and we find out later, then string him up. All right, string him up, give him LWAP. I just don't see that.
To ride out there with us and in with somebody else. I mean, we had multiple people in our group that rode out with us and rode in on someone else's boat. And that, like I said, that's not an uncommon thing to do. You know, I mean, a lot of people do that. I could name probably 50 people out there that day that ran out with somebody and ran back in with somebody else. So, I mean, it's not like it's an uncommon thing, but it's not like we just left him there or my friends just left him there. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island after my friends asked him multiple times and told him to get on the boat, and he decided to stay.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had text somebody that she heard people yelling
for
Nolan to get on it. Is that true?
And I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy.
Now, guys, these are just snippets of an interview that's almost an hour. Okay, if you actually sit there and watch this with Officer Tatum and this young man, you're gonna see his personality in there. He's kind of a little spoiled guy. He's kind of cocky in the call. He was. Remember, he was drinking. They were all drinking. So he's got that cocky side, but I just don't see that he did something to his friend and then he died. I don't see them giving interviews like this and talking and being, I just don't. But Lady for Justice, I think that is a big key here, is the losing a child is very hard. And I agree. Dr. Edward Moskowitz. Hey. Well, we're getting to the audio, Kelly. We just haven't got there yet. I will tell you in a bit. All right. Let's go. Let's finish this.
And the next day, everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to. Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. I mean, we had multiple people in our group that rode out with us. All
right. So again, that's like an hour long. I'm just giving you snippets and then we'll get to the audio. Well, we'll get to the audio after this because I know you guys can't wait for that. But before I do, I just got to do the autopsy portion of it that doesn't say anything about what we're talking about and referring to. That is all speculation when we say things like, well, if his lungs were filled up or this or that. We just don't have that. Right? We don't have it. It's very generic and nothing has changed since day one other than the autopsy being performed by the state and then independently. All right. But nothing new has been found. So it's like, how do we have all of these accusations when nothing has happened? All right, let's continue. I'm going to do this one. This is Nolan's best friend that claims to be, and then this is his other friend that we just played before. And these are the people in the forefront of this. We've got Warren Hudson. We've got Bart. And I don't see the guy that we're playing next on there, but we'll get to that. Hold on. That. All right, let's listen to this real quick because the parents say they did not know any of his friends and that they weren't friends like that. But are they lying?
On television you said in your interview that you were really, really good friends with Nolan, his best friend. Nolan's mother said on television that as if she don't even know you.
Have you spoken to Tristan since Nolan's passing, and how are you responding to his account of what happened?
So first of all, we don't know Tristan. We've never met him. So to say, best friend, childhood.
I just want you to know we're going to double back around to that after we get done with the audio so that you can see what, and they're going to ask her specifically what she's referring to. I'm not playing clips. I'm not doing what they do, is taking the information and putting it in an order of fashion that I want to paint a narrative. That's not what I'm doing. All right. At all whatsoever. Parents are downplaying his friends. I'm just telling you, I'm saying that we're going to see she's going to eat a lot of her words. And again, she is a victim, but this narrative of racially fueled and blaming those boys without having any proof is dangerous.
Friend, that's a bit of a stretch.
So what's the truth in that? And how did that affect you? How did that make you feel?
So she originally touched and she said that we weren't childhood best friends. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I moved to Ocean Springs in 9th grade. I met Nolan in 9th grade. as I've stated in my Rolling Stone interview. Nolan was my best friend, though. She can believe it or not, that was my best friend. No, me and her never had a sit down in-depth conversation like me and you're having now. It was always, hey, how are you doing? I've been to her house.
You got to remember, these kids are 18 years old. When you were 18, you weren't hanging around with your friends. You were on boats with girls, drinking, and they're also going to talk about other substances that were out there that day. So if you guys want to talk about the alcohol that was consumed, there was also alleged to be Coca-Cola, and they alleged that everybody was doing it that was in that group. All right. So you get those things fueling this, and who knows what happened, because nobody claims to have seen anything. That's what we're going to do next. And then we're going to break down the shit out of the fake audio is what I'm calling it, because there's stuff that's put in there that doesn't say that, but you can decide for yourself. My opinion is my opinion.
Multiple times. I've taken Nolan to school multiple times. I've left my vehicle at her house multiple times, even including the new vehicle I just got has gotten left at her house for 2 days. And I just got it. I haven't even had it for 4 months. My vehicle before that stayed at her house for almost a week. Me and her son went on trips together. We went to Florida for spring break together. Yeah. You don't know me? I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos.
Yeah.
As our whole friend group. Me and Nolan are standing.
Guys, they couldn't paint a narrative like this without saying they don't know him and it's not their friends. But guys, let me ask you a question. Does his friend look white to you? Pieces. Hold on. Does he look white to you? Does he look like that's racially motivated? Did he just get dark in the sun? Or is he some racist? I'm just not sure. Didn't know any of the friends. Maybe she said she had 2 friends. The video I have seen Nolan seemed like one of the most likable people. Agreed, Francis. Agreed. All right, let's continue. We're almost done with this so we can get to the audio.
Standing next to each other. You don't know me. Nolan's last name is Wells. My last name at one point in time was Walker. We were by each other in the alphabet when we graduated. Man, that's mind-boggling. It's insane.
There was a big contradiction.
All right, so there that goes. We're going to get back to it. Let me show you how, so people aren't saying, what happened to his neck, Jay? What did the independent autopsy say? And then I'll stop pieces from yelling.
Teen's mysterious death getting nationwide attention after attending a July 4th boat trip with friends and never returning home. Now, a Mississippi grand jury will determine if criminal charges will be brought after the family's private autopsy couldn't rule out foul play in Nolan Wells' death.
There were 300 to 400 people out on Horns Island. You mean to tell me nobody saw anything?
Any parent that would be in this situation, you would do anything to find out what happened to your child.
Joining us now, Nancy Grace, former special prosecutor and host of Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. You know, Nancy, Attorney Ben Crump there has a point. You mean no one saw anything? Where do you see this investigation, where things stand?
I've got a lot of problems with the investigation so far, but remember, we are seeing through a mirror darkly. We don't know all the evidence. There's been one state's autopsy, and that has not been released. The family sent the body of Nolan Wells for a second independent autopsy.
Oh no. Okay. Dang it. I was muted. We're good now. I paused it so you didn't miss anything.
And that autopsy says undetermined. This is what I do know, Griff. I know on the back of his head, the occipital bone back here, there is deep red subcutaneous tissue. It's not anywhere else. It is not pooling of the blood once he's died. The blood pools at the lowest point. It's not that, because it's only there. I'm curious, does that suggest a blow to the head? There are many accidental possibilities.
Now listen to what she says, because this is the information that's out there. One autopsy from the state and one independent autopsy. There was a new press conference today, and I summed it up in about 2 sentences earlier on. Okay, so it was just the Ben Crump and team again pushing a narrative that's not there, in my opinion. All right, nothing new.
Abilities. When you look at the video out there, there are tons of boats. They're close together. Did he drink and drown in between one of those boats and nobody noticed? I don't know that. However, that deep reddening on the occipital bone is very disturbing to me. Also, you think, oh, he drowned, but we don't have the lungs. When the second autopsy got the body, the lungs and the throat were missing. Now, I understand, Griff, why they took the lungs to determine if he had drowned, but why was the neck missing? What about the interior of the throat sparked the initial medical examiner's concern? Was there some bruising on the neck? I don't know. So right now, it could go in so many different directions. But let me tell you this, the call that the friends made when they were returning without Nolan, they say he wanted to stay and be with a friend girl he just met. Katie says, no, he left with his friends.
So you hear what's happening here. We're same story. Okay, nothing's changed. Yeah, of course, but it's Nancy Grace. It's okay. She's already done like 5 episodes on this in the last week.
I got a problem right there. That's a conflict in the testimony. But when you listen to the call the other friends made, they called Seatow, S-E-A-T-O-W, and said, we're sinking. In this newly released sound, you can make out somebody saying, wake the F up. What does that mean?
Right. And we don't even know if that's it. So we're going to hop onto that right after and go over the audio. All right. We're going to pick that apart. All right. Well, listen, Greg, if they deleted their social media profiles, if that's the case, if law enforcement says that they did something nefarious by deleting them, that's not tampering, Greg. But we can go with that. It's not tampering when people are literally giving you death threats and you have to lawyer up. So, Greg, I ask you, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Did they go right out there and immediately delete it? Or did they start getting death threats? And right, who says that, Greg? Show me a link. Show me proof, because yeah, right. I mean, nothing says that. Nothing in the documentation says that. And you can still preserve your evidence in social media, even if you delete it. All right. Yeah, he did tell them to shut the fuck up because of the dispatcher, because the boat was freaking sinking under. Of course, I would say the same thing. But yeah, show proof if you're going to come and say anything.
I'm not resting until I find out if that's real. Has it been doctored? And if it is real, who are they talking to?
There's so many questions that you raise, Nancy, and as someone who's investigated these things, you know which questions to ask. I want to take you back, though, because that marking on the back of his head is not insignificant, as you rightfully point out, because also the size of it, right? It's like a 12 by 8. I mean, it's not a small clue in this. Expand on that a bit, if you will.
Yes, that's perfect. Right there is showing exactly where the reddened tissue is, and is subcutaneous under the skin. Now,
which, guys, could mean anything. It literally can mean what Greg and everybody else is pushing. It literally can mean that they beat him up and threw him over, and they had a plot. But what I can tell you is that many law enforcement agencies and FBI are very good, very, very good at talking to a bunch of kids that were last seen on a boat and breaking down what the last thing that they saw. Okay. Unfortunately, they lawyered up because they're getting death threats and all kinds of things. By the way, there is a suit out there that just came out today too. When I say a suit, the mom had just as of either yesterday or today filed that against them. I don't know how, I don't know what's in it, but we'll get to that. Hold on 1 second. Let me switch that back. All right. Go out there and question them. Go question those 7 kids, and then find everyone else on the island and question them. Check boats. boat cameras and any cell phones. How about we do that?
See, the skin is pulled away from the body to look at the tissue underneath the skin. That's where the second medical examiner, doctor, found it. Many people are arguing it was a blow to the back of the head. Many people argue he fell, hit his head on the boat, and went over. Well, if that happened, didn't anybody see him? So it's going to boil down to witness testimony and what that neck truly reveals. Again, why did the first medical examiner keep that part of the body? It was not sent to the second autopsy. That raises my antenna. There's a lot of hate going on around this case. It's very hard to understand. Again, it could be accidental. It may not be. And we can't stop the investigation until we know. This young man was 18. You know how old my twins are? 18. And I would be lying on the front of the courthouse steps screaming for an answer till I got one.
And I agree with that. I agree with his mom. The narrative that's being pushed by those lawyers that are getting a cash grab, I don't agree with. Also, you're right, the classic one, a civil lawsuit against the boys is now going to shut them up, and it has shut Bart up, and he's now retained a lawyer. Now let's get into the audio. That way, if you just came on here to hear the audio and what I have to say, then you can leave. Hit the like button. I'm defending criminals. Okay. All right. Sure, Greg. Sure. Hate is intentional. I am defending criminals. I wonder where that came from. All right, let's continue. Those damn criminals. I can't believe his best friend. He's Hispanic or mixed black, and he just doesn't like those black folks, I guess. Damn. I bet you they all had white supremacist hats on their way back too, right?
Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking.
There is verifiable proof from people that spoke to me and also law enforcement that people had seen Nolan after this call had occurred and after the boys had left already. So that creates an impossibility that someone could be talking about Nolan being dead if he's seen alive after this. Before we get back to the show, I want to tell you guys about Shenergy. If you're tired of energy drinks that spike.
Now, this is Officer Tatum, and guys, he's been in the forefront of this case. He went to the island. He's interviewed some of the friends. All right, he's doing amazing work here and trying to keep it civil. All right here it says testimony debunks fake audio. And then after that, I have more for you.
I've seen Nolan last, but it's not being truthful and coming forward as to what they saw, who was with him last. And we have various people that have come out or come to us with the information. And one was sent in a DM honing in on one particular person that may have been in an altercation with Nolan. Now, this appears to be post the phone call and the boys that I talked to who had already left. And I've been telling people that it appears that the young men that I interviewed had nothing to do with this. And the sentiment still continues. I have names. I know who these people are. My goal with this is to present it to law enforcement before I say anybody's name. But I'm going to let you guys know what I have heard so you can have a perspective. Because when the autopsy comes out, or at least the toxicology results comes out, it's going to prove whether or not people are saying things to me that are not true, or the sources that I believe are verified are accurate.
Right there, guys. That's it. That's all. Right? Who set themselves up for a lawsuit? The family? There it is right there. If it comes back, then Officer Tatum's going to say, I was wrong. I interviewed those boys, and boy, was I wrong. It's not that hard to get things out of kids, especially ones that are drinking and scared. All right. I don't believe Warren and the entire CETO is extremely suspicious. Yeah, you can have two different versions of it. Oh, Tatum's gonna get sued? Interesting. Okay. If that happens, then I hope it's publicly.
Before we get to that, I need to follow up and dispel this mythical phone call, because I think people are still pushing this. And I've been telling you guys from the very beginning that I think that they're pushing people in the wrong direction. When you get information that leads you to believe that this group of people had nothing to do with it, you need to move on and look at other leads. And I feel like in this case, people are so bent on making it about race and making it specifically about these white boys, like low-hanging fruit, because they reported he was missing. They seen him on the day of the thing. Y'all just jumping into conclusions, making it about them. And with the information that I got today, and I've really been holding some of it for the last.
I'm going to go a little forward because you understand what he's saying, but we're going to talk about this call. All right. And you guys can go off and watch it on your own without me talking. I will play it so you can hear it, but you guys can examine it 7 ways from Sunday and go find it on different channels as well. And then you tell me what you think.
Oh, and this is on Nancy Grace's show. And hopefully I get an opportunity to talk to Nancy Grace about this, because I just feel like
thank you.
You have to be very mindful in doing due diligence before you put these things out on the internet, given the fact of the confusion that it could cause. Just real quick, this is why I don't believe that. I think people are hearing what they want to hear and not what is said. Either this is doctored or people are hearing things that they want to hear and not what's said, because there is verifiable proof from people that spoke to me and also law enforcement that people had seen Nolan after this call had occurred and after the boys had left already. So that creates an impossibility that someone can be talking about Nolan being dead if he's seen alive after this.
See, this doesn't jive with the timeline at all. And when you listen to it, you're like, it's like those spirit boxes. You know, when you listen to a spirit box and it goes, blah, 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 and the guy says, oh yeah, it says she did it. Go check the mom or something like that. It didn't say that. What? All right, let's continue. I'll just play this as long as I can. I want to use fair use though.
And I'm being told in some of the things that I've seen is that people have seen him alive right before 6 p.m., which is over an hour after this happened. All right, let's get to the clip, and we're going to further dispel this with TMZ's reporting as well. Roll it.
Detail assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir? Can you give me a description, angles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down there.
What?
All right, pause. I'm going to get to Nancy Grace here in a second, but I want you guys to go back and I want you to take another listen. Now, I want you to frame this within the context that clearly Nolan is still alive during this period. So let's remove Nolan from this context. Let's play it within the context of them mentioning things on the boat being either dead or whatever.
Now, listen, you tell me if I'm wrong or not. You listen to this call. This was not a 911 call at all. This was a call to the dispatch saying, hey, my boat is sinking and I need help. Now, in between then, they had called Bart's dad and he came, et cetera, right? And I'm not saying that that's law. I'm saying that's the narrative that we have from them. We know the narrative from the Wells side. So we're listening to all of it. And then again, you can see that. Listen to what it says. All right. I don't know, but yeah, obviously it is. Okay, guys, I'm gonna gift the membership since I gotta sit back here for a minute. For what? Go back to the beginning is all I'm saying. There's a lot. Go back to the beginning of what you. So here's the thing: is I have the entire thing. Okay, listen, I have from Plunder. It's like uncut, unedited. Do you guys want to listen to that 8 minutes straight through, or however many minutes it is straight through, and then come back to this? Put a 1 if you want that. I got to have at least like 10 ones. All right. All right. If you want to listen to the whole thing raw and uncut directly from Plunder, and you know how she gets these things, put a 1.
Whatever the case may be. Put this in the context of they're on a boat, they're about to sink, the village port or whatever it's called is not working, dead, damaged, they're concerned. Put that in your mind as you listen to this and tell me if you hear something different than Nolan, is he dead, and all of that stuff. Roll it.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description, angles?
What'd you
Hello?
say? Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Now, I want you guys, I'm curious if the guy or the person that said about you're a boat person, let me know if you're still in here so you can kind of weigh in. The video, there's nothing to the video either. It's the video there. He wasn't in the video. And I'm going to show you that afterwards. Okay. I have that video from TMZ and there's just a bunch of lies in that as well. Hey, Millie. All right.
Is it Dave Mack? Did you just hear what I heard? Now,
all right, let me move on from this because she's going to interview another guy, and I'm running out of time. I gotta get through this. You guys can watch that on. Just go to her channel. You can see what her interview was. Now, I'm trying to help us not get too caught up and and people look like fools. So now go to the TMZ article real quick. The TMZ presentation. TMZ played this. All of the above. Y'all were DMing me to death about this on TMZ. Let me just read this real quick from what TMZ said. Evidence appears to show Nolan Wells was still on Horn Island when his friend's boats left. TMZ has learned. Sources with direct knowledge of the investigation claim authorities have evidence of Nolan being on the Mississippi Barrier Island. Let's see, after the boat departed on the 4th of July, which will be a huge development. We're told that at least 2 witnesses who were interviewed by law enforcement say that they saw Nolan on the island after the boat headed back to the mainland. That's significant for many reasons. Now, what do you guys got to say about this? TMZ, who put it out, reiterated that there's people that are saying they saw Nolan afterwards. It continues. TMZ.
Now, mind you, guys, I'm gonna put some stuff in here, and if you receive the membership, come on out. Yeah, no, TMZ, I try not to use their sources as much as possible. However, in this case, Nolan was the only Black member of the friend group, contributing to the public scrutiny of racial bias. But I gotta tell you, there were more than 60 witnesses that have been interviewed on that island that were on there or witnessed things that day. All right. Now, the case will be presented to a grand jury once the sheriff's investigation is complete, and then the grand jury can decide what happens next, if these guys are criminals or not. The family is represented by Ben Crump, who has challenged inconsistencies and demanded transparency. And that's what's happening right now in the media. All right. I do have the uncut audio. I will play after that. No, but it was sinking. And if you're, oh, Millie got it. Yay. Why did Grandpa and Bart fella? Okay, let's continue. I don't want to get sidetracked. Let me continue.
He enhanced the audio of Nolan's friend's frantic call for help when their boat was sinking, and people believe you can hear someone saying, "Is he dead?" But our sources tell us people on the boat have heard the enhanced audio and are telling people around them the audio is only panic from a boat sinking. If you put that in context, you can see exactly what's going on. Now, let's move on, because I was given this video. And here's a video of the actual boat as they're getting towed out. Do you see Nolan on this boat?
All right, there's a video. I'm also going to slow it down after this just to show you by itself that boat video that couldn't possibly be him. All right, the time frame doesn't fit. Now, I wouldn't be on here saying this. I wouldn't be saying, yeah, but I'm telling you, you can go do your research yourself. There's only one set of information that's come out regarding this, and everything else is us filling in the blanks and pure speculation along with some AI. People are putting a picture of Nolan and then they put it real small and draw a circle, and then it's spreading. So people like my brother will say, oh my God, you see that racist thing? Those 6 white guys and a girl, they killed him. They strangled him and they killed him. That's what's being pushed.
Whatsoever. Now, I did this so we can get context. Now, the nut job lunatics that want to believe what they want to believe, don't worry about them.
Okay.
I'm talking of those of us who really care about getting to the bottom of this. And just hold on with me, because we got to get to the new stuff that I just heard before we run out of time.
Yeah, I just wanted an island. Okay, I just wanted an island. I didn't want one that you can't see behind me. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just wanted an island. That's it. That's all. It's not supposed to be Horn Island.
So that's a video of that.
Just
now,
an
let me
island.
present something else to you, because this is a video of what it looked like. And Nolan is in this video. We'll put the video up. Nolan is in this video. Put it on the screen. Pause it right here.
Okay, so now you guys have. We're gonna go back and listen to the audio. You can pick it apart yourself to death. No cuts, no words put in, just purely what you hear. Okay. Now somebody said I didn't see the boat video. Here's the audio first. We listened to part of it, and now here's the video. I do have still shots of this. Again, listen up.
So this was sent to us as well. I'm sure this video is circulating anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the boy in the blue shorts, right where his butt is at, you move over at the edge of the boat in his butt, and that's actually Nolan standing in the water right there. I'm going to have the team play the video and pan it so you can see what environment they were in similarly when the boat began to sink. Roll the clip. Pause. Do you guys see how many people are out there? Play it again. Do you guys see how many boats are out there? So this is where the boat is at when they begin to become distressed. Right in this area. As you can see how close they are to the land. You can see where the coordinates were at. Right there.
And again, guys, there's hundreds of people out there. 7 people on that boat, according to the dispatch call, not a 911 call. Now, you can absolutely sink a boat if you don't have most of the time they have like a little, I don't even know what that's called, but you can let water in and out. You always take it out at the end to let the water drain. And then when you do that, you got to remember to put it back in. All right. Jay, I have to check out. I can't stand seeing white men be real. I'm not vilifying anybody. That's absolutely disgusting. I'm actually doing the opposite. And I know what you're saying, but I'm doing the opposite because it's not the right thing to do. All right. It's not the right thing to get to paint this narrative. I think we should definitely investigate and take it seriously because of the past, not say, well, that's the thing is on Cloud, they are investigating it. Oh, they just call it a boat plug. Okay. I didn't know if there was something specific, but we've gone out boating and forgot to put the plug in. As soon as you go out there and you forget to put the plug in, you'll see it start to go down. Aside from that, if you have too many people on a boat that doesn't hold that many people, that will also happen. That happened to us. All right. So, I don't know why people are like, oh, they didn't really, that was just a distraction. A distraction from what? That was a 911.
So when they're taking in water, when their boat is beginning to sink because it's anchored, it's happening right there.
I know she didn't mean me. I'm just talking.
So for somebody to believe that this dispatch call is a desperate call with Nolan laying dead in the middle of their boat, that does not make sense. And to think that nobody saw it when they're entangled within all these people, I think is a disservice. But what I was told, and you guys, please take in consideration that it's reliable sources. However, the only way to prove the truth in this is if I see it with my own eyes, if the law enforcement have the investigation of this, and also when the toxicology results come out. But people are
so that's it right there. And I saw someone earlier that said they're confused by this. I got to tell you, there's not a lot of confusion other than all the videos that are coming out, the audio that says they can hear him saying he killed him or he's dead, when in fact, I believe they're talking about the boat. And, whatever they're referring to tell them that the boat failed. Again, we'll go back and listen to the whole thing in its entirety. It's not too long. And then you see the audio and the video. doing the same thing. But listen, nothing has happened. If you're confused about this, this is what happened on July 4th, 2026. 18-year-old Mississippi college football player Nolan Wells vanished during a 4th of July boat trip to Horn Island with a large group of his high school friends. Okay. The group's boat left the island at 4:31 p.m. without him, with friends claiming that he stayed behind to talk to a girl. Okay. This is not saying that they're telling the truth. These are the accounts from that day. A claim then contradicted by the girl herself. So they found the girl, tracked her down. She says, I didn't stay there with him. I saw him and I saw them calling for him, but he didn't get on the boat. Now, new videos, GPS data, and witness accounts have produced conflicting timelines. The body of Nolan Wells was found 2 days later in shallow water near the island. Authorities say evidence points to an accidental drowning, while an independent autopsy lists the cause of death as undetermined and notes possible head injury. The case has drawn national attention due to the racial dynamics, contradictory statements, missing phone data, and ongoing questioning. All right, so that's where we are on this. It's not really that confusing once you read the actual evidence that's been put out there, the reports.
Messaging me and telling me that there was heavy drinking and there's involved. And there's a particular person.
Absolutely.
I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first, and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine.
Did you hear that?
And someone,
again, we don't know if this happened, so we're explaining away. First of all, they should have said, why did the parents let these young kids have mass amounts of alcohol? And then, guys, they interviewed 60 witnesses, and out of those, one person said that he had Coca-Cola and that they were doing it. All right, let's continue. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I don't think people realize what this is creating by filling in the blanks.
Close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. This person said it was 150%. Sure that when the toxicology comes back, that Nolan will have cocaine in the system. Now, again, taking into consideration, this is somebody telling me this. I'm not saying it's me. I'm not saying it. I'm not able to verify it. But from the sources that I'm getting it from has been consistent, verifiable sources thus far, and hadn't been wrong about nothing.
And guys, mind you, he has done interviews with the boys. He was or is an officer. I don't know much about his prior career. Justice Jane and Moore, what they're talking about is not of legal drinking age. And I got to tell you more, they say that on the dispatch call that there are no adults on the boat. What they meant by no adults, just minors, mean they weren't old enough to drink. And they say that again and again. 18 and older, you cannot drink. You don't need adult supervision. But Amethyst, you can't just have a mass amount of alcohol on a boat. Who bought them the alcohol if they were all 18 and 17 and in high school? All right, I'm sure the Coca-Cola Mississippi has the same thing, right? All right. Yeah, they did. They said that right on the call, which we're going to get into. They're even saying they're minors.
So there's a possibility that there's a person that Nolan may have been around or interacted with that is giving the people on this island that Nolan may have taken the cocaine. And then also, I received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now, I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6, right around 6 or a little bit before 6 p.m. Now, according to the autopsy, which I interviewed a medical examiner about this, there is no evidence of blunt force trauma or an evidence that Nolan got into a physical altercation. So I'm putting all this stuff together, what people are sending me and all that, and I'm trying to find a neutral point to share with you. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned. It could be.
Yep.
That could have happened.
It could have.
I'm
You're
more
right.
convinced now than ever based on what people have been telling me and DMs that I've been seeing, people that have been verified sources, that has to be something with this. There has to be something with Nolan and a girl, and there has to be something with Nolan potentially being in either altercation with somebody, which would lead me to believe that that person saw Nolan last. And that this other person that's giving people, so this person giving people, a girl.
Mind you, he's saying Coca-Cola. This girl was giving Coca-Cola away to these people. And I tell you right now, almost every kid that I know that I went to high school with, you're out there partying, drinking, and you got a girl, probably a pretty girl in a bikini, will do that with them. Again, we don't know. We don't know if he did that. We'll find out in the toxicology, right? I know this is crazy though. What's happening is they're getting majorly harassed, and we haven't even got into that yet. We haven't even got into them personally and what's happening in this case. Let me see what this. Hold on. I think he's just continued giving his opinion. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop this down, and I'm going to play the audio for you. I'm going to let you guys listen to it without stopping it. There's nothing on the screen. This came directly from Plunder. You guys know Plunder has credibility. This is the raw audio from the sea tow call. It was a distress call on July 4th, the 911 call. All right, we're going to play that, and then I'm going to show you the boat pictures, the people on the boat, and all the other things that I put together for today's episode. All right, listen up.
CTO assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
There is no transcript.
It's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know.
It doesn't even make sense. The transcript doesn't make any sense. So yeah, you can't read it because I'm not playing it. I have it on English auto generated so I can make sure they're not messing up. But I'm not. I'm listening to it.
We're going down there.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, guaranteed. I don't have the tag
Unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How many?
Drunk
All
as
right.
fuck.
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
He's drunk AF.
If not, I can send you a text message.
North. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
North 30 degrees by 4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
No, we do not have a VHF radio.
All right, well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify your coordinates one more time?
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at Horn
Island?
Island. Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We are sinking, yes.
Is it aground is the question?
No, we're not aground. We are in
Okay.
17 foot of water. We're in 31 foot of water.
All right, have to ask. What do you want to do? Do you want to be towed back?
I want to get this boat unsank and towed back, yes.
All right, where would you like it towed to, sir?
You can tow it to Ocean Springs Harbor, or Fort Bayou Launch.
Now, the people that are reviewing this are saying that they heard in the background that he was dead. They also think that they kept muting it. But guys, it's, in my opinion and many others, it's the reception. People claim that there was no reception out there. There wasn't, but when you get back to a certain spot, it's obviously spotty. So people are saying, okay, you wouldn't hang up on them if they're sinking. You'd get in trouble for that. Kids are assholes, especially when they're drinking and cocky. This boy had called his dad ultimately and his family, his grandpa, whatever, to rescue him, and he's also lawyered up. So I'm sure that they have some amount. They're financially okay, so to speak. All right, so let's continue.
Right, how many adults and children on board?
No, there's no children.
So is there anybody on board? How many adults, sir? That was the question.
See, here it is. How many adults? None. He said none.
Hello, can you hear me?
Gotta jump in and pull the plug, Bart, while you're going.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yep, I just need you to answer these questions so I can get you over to the captain.
Okay.
How many
what's
adults
going
on board?
There are 0 adults on board.
Now, listen, guys. He just said there's 0 adults on board. I think people that own boats and boat all the time understand what is happening here. He was literally saying, pull the plug to let the water out. Okay, that's what he was saying. And I did not hear Viking Treasure. I can listen to the same thing, I think, as you and still not hear it. So we'll go with that. But they're not sinking. When you're in a boat, you're not sinking until you sink. You could start to sink and go in, and then you could let go of the plug, tell some of your friends to get out, because that's what I think was happening. People pretending they can't hear Nolan's name is sad. And then when you say something like that, Eric, it's like almost insulting. But I mean, I hear what you're saying, but it's insulting to say that it's sad that someone can't hear it. All right, let's continue. This case is probably not going anywhere until we get something back from officials.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody
right.
here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question. Is there a person? Is there a person, a living individual on the boat?
People say this meant something too.
Hello?
Is there a living person, someone breathing on the boat? Is there anybody on the boat?
Thank you for saying
There's
that.
lots of people breathing on the boat.
All right, how many people, sir?
Like 7.
All right, thank you. Does everyone have life jackets on or available to them?
Yes, we have one.
Even that portion of it's like, oh, he said there's only 6. He's trying to hide. No, if 6 people plus himself is 1. Remember, and mind you, being out on a boat all day, drinking and doing and partaking in other potential drugs. All right. He did sound scared on the boat. He's a douche. I agree, but he talks like that. When he did an interview with Officer Tatum, he actually talked like that. He sounds kind of like an entitled prick, but that doesn't mean that he did something to Nolan. And that people keep going back and forth saying there's no adults. He was an adult. What they're saying and what the confusion comes in, mind you, being in the sun all day, drinking beer all day, and who knows what else, and doing other partaking in other adult activities. They didn't even understand the question about a breathing person. He kept saying no because he was speaking for 21 and over. That's what he was referring to. No adults. So yeah. So if he's 21 or 22, then Bart wasn't the one that said that. Then was he? I don't know everyone's age, but he literally said no. All right, let's continue. I know I think people just want to find something in this.
Life jackets available.
All right. Verify what boat's sinking.
A Triton, 22-foot offshore, 22-foot Triton offshore sea flight hull.
All right.
Put your headphones
All
on, guys.
right.
You gotta listen to both.
Please hold. I'm transferring you to the local captain now.
Okay, thank you.
You guys hit the like button. You got to get a membership. Get one. If you can gift a membership, that'd be awesome. All right. That came. Let's see.
I'm not trying.
Hold on. Let me go back.
Time. I really do. You're going to have a fee for service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on
There you
Horn
go.
Island. He's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking. And he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So he said there's about a lot of people on board.
Yes.
He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18. And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said a Triton 24-footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with.
Has anyone done research on a Triton 24 to see how much weight that they can put on it? All right. I think she said a breathing person because they said, yeah, exactly. Amethyst, you nailed it. I mean, we're listening to it, and we're listening to it without reading in between the lines. That's why. When you already have an agenda in your mind and you listen to it without listening to hear both sides, then of course you're going to make that conclusion. All right. 2 different pictures at the boat when they were 31 feet away. I don't know why people keep saying that. Keep saying, oh, I wasn't 31 feet. He didn't have a tape measure. He was just letting them know what in the area roughly so that they would come. He wanted them to come. And the reason he canceled it, in my opinion, is because they were going to charge Grandpa Jerry. Why in the hell would you let them charge Grandpa Jerry when somebody already came out and helped you themselves? That doesn't make sense to you? Hey, Cade Cowles, I appreciate Officer Tatum's effort, but wish he would not have revealed at least this time. That said, as I hear more, I think these kids were more bombed than I originally thought. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being respectful. All right, let's continue. Without evidence, I don't know.
With his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat.
Grandpa.
And he said that Jerry. Yeah, he said,
okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So I'm guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah, they're in a panic. He's saying the bilge is not keeping up. I asked for Coast Guard. He said no, but he's just really upset on the back end. And, I get it. It's a kid. He just doesn't understand.
Oh, okay. Do you still have him on the line?
Yes, I still have him on the line. And again, I couldn't find, he couldn't give me anything regarding his grandfather's, membership. So it's just under Jerry fee for service.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just talked to, if you want to, we're so tied up right now. We can't really do any non-member jobs right now.
I do got to tell you, One Love, and I'm being honest with you 110%. Canceling the tow makes 110% sense. If you're somebody that goes out on the boat and you've got freaking insurance to like AAA to tow your boat, that happens. You're not going to call the tow truck driver when he calls grandpa or whoever to come get him. And then he goes, because as they're sinking and he's panicking as they're drinking all day with no adults on the boat, right? It says they're going to bill Grandpa Jerry. I can tell you, Mom, you've been on a boat with us before. You went to that boat when Karina and all them girls were there. We went out to Lake Hellier or whatever that lake is right there where it was sinking. You're not going to call the tow place. You're not going to let them charge you and come out if Grandpa already came. I don't think that is anything suspicious. And I don't think that's anything suspicious either. But he's the one that said it, not me. He said no one was over 21. I know, right? You mean they're just not master manipulators?
Is Jerry a member? Did you find out if he was a member or not?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his boat or what. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But yeah, transfer the kid over. I'll talk to him, and then
this is not. I can't answer
and then
this.
I'll call Grandpa back as well.
All right. And did you want me to look up Jerry's membership number or anything like that to see if he's up? I know you guys are.
You can
swamped.
try this cell phone number.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you, Drew.
Anything on this phone number?
Exactly. You panic, that happens. Bottom line, you guys, we all have our opinions.
All right. Yep. Jerry. Yeah, he's an active member. Hold on.
What kind of boat do you have on there? Same boat?
Yeah, he's one. Yeah, he's one of your members. Yep, 22-foot Triton. All right. I'll just disregard this one. I'm gonna send you over an accurate one under this Jerry Ackerson one. Okay, he's one of your members. You'll get in a couple minutes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, and yeah, just transfer this kid over whenever you get a chance.
All right, transferring him now. Thank you again, Captain.
All right.
Stay safe out there. It's crazy. Have a
No, so what I'm saying, and you're right, Viking Treasure, it is boaters insurance. We had boats and ATVs and all that, but it literally, the dispatcher literally said, if it goes out, they come, bill it to Jerry. Okay, Grandpa did pay for the boat and everything that the kids are in, but why call somebody to come tow you when you don't need it? All right. That's the whole thing. And I can't understand why people are thinking that it's so nefarious. It truly just isn't. I wish there were spots that I could say, oh my God, did you see it? So nefarious, but it's just simply not. I don't know how it's being made out to be.
Oh, it's wild. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's wild, man. All right, let's. I think it's done now.
Hello.
Oh, there it is. Last the plunder.
Hello. Are you there? I apologize. I will be disconnecting due to lack of response.
All right, done and done. Thank you, Plunder. I appreciate that so very much. That's awesome. Again, let's mind you, there's 7 people per sea tow call. Those are the people. Let's get them all in and question them. How about that? All right, let's take a look at what Bart says. Bart responds to this, and mind you, the parents have filed a suit against him, and I don't even know what exactly the suit exactly it says because of the audio and the video. I did not sit there and read the suit, but let me show you real quickly. There's a couple things here. Okay, so this was replying to Officer Tatum. Who are the people with Nolan? None of these swim trunks match to the video and your images. Did you grab a video of another boat? So we're looking at the boys, just kind of, this is, again, people can say what they want about it. And then this one here, exclusive images shared of the Triton boat being towed by another boat after viral sea tow dispatch call. Nolan Wells is confirmed to not be on board. So when you guys see an image with them saying he's on there, he's simply not. That's it right there. And I still can't understand. We're looking at this video of them getting towed and people saying they didn't get towed. They didn't need it. It was a cover up. Then what's happening right there in that picture? What is that then? Is that just somebody that wanted to help them make this narrative? Because I've seen these pictures and they put a black man from the back that doesn't belong in here, that were never in here in the first place. So those are the pictures there. And I mean, there's so much here. Nolan, wake up. Hearing phrases like you killed him and Nolan, wake up. Okay, so that's what the other side is posing, guys. The other side is saying that with the audio, you hear the enhancement saying you killed him. Nolan, wake up. And that repeatedly accusing Nolan's friends of murdering him as the public called for their arrest. Now, it says her self-edited audio has now taken the internet by storm and has essentially become a dog whistle for people who were already targeting and harassing Nolan's young friends. Janetta and her wife Ashley describe themselves as serial entrepreneurs. All right, filmmakers, holistic herbalists, social media influencers, and founders of a Houston-based community called Audio Done Right. They also describe their business as ADR School. My team confirmed through the Texas Secretary of State that neither Audio Done Right nor ADR is registered as a Texas business entity. So it's trying to go to the validity of this, okay? My team also discovered that the SMA, or Smart Vegan LLC, for which Janetta Brantley is listed as a registered agent, is inactive with the Texas Secretary of State. State records show that the entity's franchise was involuntarily ended. Again, this is the credibility. Despite that, the products are still being offered for sale through the business website, raising obvious questions about whether the business is properly authorized to continue operating in Texas. Now, guys, I also want you to know that there's a $50,000 reward that was put out today by, I believe, Bart's father. All right. Or I don't know if it's the father or grandfather. I'll look at that in a second. But back to Janetta Brantley has her own criminal history. She pled guilty to Class B misdemeanor, terroristic threat in Brazoria County. She was sentenced to 3 days in the county. Court records also show she later entered in the no contest plea. Okay, so this is the credibility here. This is what we're talking about. The theft case, we're going to keep. Meanwhile, this is the person the internet has chosen to trust while accusing grieving teenagers of murder-based and an edited audio file that she created herself. Now, before people continue spreading these accusations that have targeted young, innocent adults, they should consider the credibility of the person who manufactured the audio and that started this latest wave of online harassment. As per usual, I come with receipts, and that is Sarah Fields. Thank you for the receipts. And there you go. There's the credibility. Like I said, cash grabs all day long from that side. It's absolutely disgusting. Okay, so they have plenty of capacity. Cool. Thank you for checking that. I'm sure 24-foot Triton can hold that many. Our boat could only hold 4 people, and there was a weight limit. And these girls were huge. So it started to sink. Again, you call somebody to tow it, but if someone else helps you out while you're sinking, you're going to cancel the tow. All right. When I watch Pro Ben Crump, Wells family YouTubers, all white people associated with the story are 100% racist, and all people of color involved are 0% racist. Frustrating. I agree. Anyway, I mean, judge her credibility or not. Or if you don't know who this is, I don't see anyone saying anything about it. We just take her word for that audio, huh? Okay. All right. Well, this was the newly shared text messages from Nolan Wells' mother, caught lying about not having any parents reach out to her regarding her missing son. Guys, when I ask who's lying in the title, I'm not saying that for my health. I'm going to show you directly where the parents deny knowing those children, and then another time just to find out that they do. Now, Warren Hudson's stepmom, Ashley Cole, exclusively shares this text message revealing that she reached out to Nolan's mom prior to Nolan's mother claiming no one reached out. Nolan's mother later corrected herself on CNN. Guys, is that okay? Christine, this is Ashley Cole. If or when you ever want to talk to me, this is my number.
We've heard different accounts of how long he's known them. And I was wondering also if you folks have spoken to those families since they lawyered up.
It goes to credibility in court.
Yeah. Say that second part again.
Have they talked to the families? Yeah.
Last question.
They haven't spoken to the families.
We've heard different accounts of.
Now, listen, I respect what you're saying, but in the court of law, it does. It absolutely does. Your past gives the credibility. Your past is able to, for me to see and say how credible you are as a witness, as a person that has this audio that's being they're being accused of adding things to it. Should solid source that says a different friend has informed law enforcement that he stayed on the island. No, that's interesting. I'm not going to throw that in the wrench, but if you have something, let me know. All right, let's continue.
But the parents, again, they've offered, and I need to correct myself because I think yesterday in one of the interviews, I think I said that maybe none of them. I want to say 2 or 3.
So it went from nobody reached out to her to 2 or 3 people reached out to her.
The parents, again, they've offered, and I need to correct myself because I think yesterday in one of the interviews, I think I said that maybe none of them. I want to say 2 or 3 of them have reached out. Just the first one expressing their condolences, another one just saying, "Hey, give me a call if and when you're ready," type of deal. And then another one just,
see,
sorry for your.
She went from nobody reached out to her and this whole narrative how racist they are and they killed her son to correcting herself to possibly 2 or 3. Guys, that is absolutely dangerous to do something like that. Absolutely dangerous to make a statement like that and have these lawyers putting out this narrative and you not even telling the right one. Would she have corrected herself had someone not shown the receipts of the text messages? You guys can answer that for yourself.
You're lost, but hey, we need to talk type of thing. And you know what? it hasn't, are we at a week? My brain is mush. We're all over the place emotionally.
I agree.
This has been a difficult situation. I cannot express how hard this has been on not just us as parents.
And guys, I am rooting for those parents to find out what happened to Nolan. I understand the mom, and I think the mom and dad may be getting taken advantage of by these lawyers that are telling them and creating this narrative. I don't think they would want their son's funeral to be talking about things that weren't their son. Did you hear a statement about always telling her son to be careful who moved with this? No, but that makes sense. That happens a lot. A lot of African American and the Black community tell their children that, and they teach them to not talk back to law enforcement, etc. All right, I'm getting the milk dud fatigue.
Parents, but also his siblings. They are struggling too with the fact that they do not have their brother.
Of course,
but the parents, again, they've offered.
Okay, so that was it. She now went from no one contacted her to 2 or 3 people actually did. Let me correct myself. All right, now, guys, I wasn't talking about people being exposed in my life. That in my real life, I know people could change, but my real life isn't the court of law. I could meet someone and still be interested in dating them if they had a past history, or still be interested in them being a parent. But what I'm talking about is that particular woman with a record. Sarah Fields is saying that this is the woman she exposed for being a fake audio engineer and manipulating the audio by creating a fake script from Ceto Audio tied to Nolan Wells' case. All right. Announcing that they're going to attempt to sue her. Right. They've also started a give, send, go for $50,000. Guys, why are they cash grabbing? Why are these people cash grabbing for what? All right. So they did that. They put it out there and now they have a go, give, send, go for money. What? How is that even possible? All right. So look at that. It doesn't make sense. They're supporting the family and they're saying they need money because they're getting hate and threats. If you guys don't see this, if you guys don't see the pure just wool being pulled over from every which angle, I don't know what else does. All right. They were from the same high school. I can't comprehend this. Why people believe stuff that just it simply hasn't come out yet. All right, here's Bart responding to Nolan Wells' accusations of the emergency call leak.
To shore 2 days later. At the start of this case, local authorities to some spoke too soon by suggesting that no foul play appeared to be suspected, and then later reassured Wells' family and those interested in the case that it will be handled like any other case.
Of course.
Now, from our point of view, that could be the error because Nolan Wells' mysterious death is not like any other case. On Tuesday, in the aftermath of a new piece of background audio being highlighted, a part of an emergency CTO call, many who not only fear what happened to Nolan could happen to them, and those who want answers would question and begin turning up the accusation against Nolan's friends who he traveled to Horn Island with. Now, in the audio release, interpreters would suggest.
Now that's Bart. That's the asshole. Justice Jane, thank you. I appreciate that. But the version that I have came right from law enforcement. Plunder does her magic. I don't know if it's a FOIA she did and she paid for it. But out of all the people, I found hers to be the most credible. There's no video with it. There's no enhancements. It's just a straight up call from that dispatch. And I got to give Plunder, she does do digging, but she also does her due diligence and doesn't spread false information. So I went with that one.
That they heard things like, is he dead? The name Nolan, wake up. And of course, one that has captured many people's attention, damn it, Bart.
Sorry, Warren. Yep.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Oh, shut the fuck up!
Depending on how you interpret the audio, it can be heard as the final moments to a crime, where one of his friends yells at another friend for taking a life, while others suggest to cover it up. If you do interpret it this way, it could answer how Wells could just end up disappearing out of thin air. Now, a part of this interpretation, Wells' former teammate Bart Edmondson would be called out due to him seemingly being the person to angrily shout out, "Shut the F up," after panic would take over the boat, making it appear as if he had just finished doing something to Wells, in which you would also hear female passengers not being able to contain their emotions with what they were witnessing, as some are suggesting that they heard Nolan. On Wednesday, as more and more people accuse Edmiston as being a possible suspect, it appears that he and his family are now responding with their own attorney, conservative commentator Russ Latino, based in Mississippi. On Wednesday morning, Latino would announce that he is now joining the Edmiston family to clear Bart's name and go after anyone making defamatory statements. On Facebook, he would go on to write, "I have been retained by the family of Bart Edmiston to pursue people defaming him with wholly fabricated assertions of fact that are putting Bart, his family, and friends in harm's way. The family will put out a formal statement later today and announce the initiation of its first defamation lawsuit." Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because of some of that made-up speculation on this and other sites. The FBI.
And this is all I'm saying. These people have parents too. These people that were on the boat have parents as well. And these parents care about their children, don't want them getting racially assaulted because people think that they're racist and whatever else that we don't know yet. There's nothing to prove that. So yes, Nolan Wells, may he rest in peace. May the family get the answers that they deserve. But before having information like that and just sending a mob of angry people to these kids that are just kids, I don't care if they're 21 or not, but that's the bottom line. They're in harm's way now. So we're like, oh, Nolan Wells, we feel so bad for his parents. But we don't know that those parents, these kids did anything nefarious. So why are we trying to cause harm? Hey, Kara, thank you. I appreciate you. Everyone else that came in was like, wow. Welcome in. I'm going to gift another membership, guys. Come on in. If anyone wants to match me a membership to help us get to our goal, that would be awesome. I'm trying to do the best I can. Guys, we haven't even debunked the junk, and I have a lot of debunking to do. So stick here with me. Major conspiracy claims and concise debunks. All right. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you and prove it to you. Hold on. Sorry. They're talking about the, all right. They're talking about hiring private investigators to identify and track individuals that are engaged in the defamation against them and trying to harm them. Okay. That's what he's saying in this. We don't need to hear the whole thing. It's what it is. It's a continuation of it. Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because of the made up speculation. All right. So now they're hiring their own private eyes, and rightfully so. There's now a lawsuit against them, right? If you make up something out of thin air or share something you don't know to be true, adding the word allegedly or saying people are reporting will not save you from defamation. I haven't defamed anybody in this episode. I didn't say anything bad about the parents. The only thing I did say was that I showed you proof that the lady that
be unrelenting,
that came out with the audio has a criminal record. You guys decide her credibility. All right. Let me go a little bit forward. We don't need to see this whole thing. They're just continuing. All right. Jacqueline Price, that circled picture is not my son. Okay. Let me go back so you guys can. All right.
We're going to say you are steering the pot by reposting things.
Hold on.
They want the truth and peace for Nolan's family. People making things up online that put others at risk are not honoring Nolan's life or loss.
Yep.
They're not bringing us closer to the truth, but pulling us away. This will be a large, potentially nationwide task. If you're a lawyer who believes that the rule of law, the presumption of innocence, and our very commitment to truth is in jeopardy and want to do something about it, please reach out to me privately. Now, before Latino would release this statement, Bart's own mother on Tuesday would break her own silence after her son was accused of wrongdoings related to the case of Nolan Wells. While responding to a user on Facebook, she would clarify a previous comment that Bart looks to have made about the last time he was in a certain part of Mississippi, causing some to accuse him of lying. His mother would go on to say, "You are steering the pot by reposting things that are not factual, and you have manipulated words." He said he has not been in past Christian Mississippi in a year, which is where that picture was taken. He was clarifying that he was not present there. He never said he was not in Mississippi. I have a screenshot of it if you need me to send that to you. He is playing football out of state and was only home, Ocean Springs, for a few days in July and was on the boat that towed the boat that Nolan declined going on because he wanted to stay behind. The audio that you were referring to is not as you guys see. They were panicking and creating a plan to get the boat saved from sinking. The newest news has been reported that Nolan was seen on the island after the two boats left. And there are pictures from my son's boat of the boat about to be towed. And clearly Nolan is not on the boat. So for all of you internet investigators, your plot to accuse my child of something is not warranted. And it will come out sooner than later that he did not harm Nolan. And believe me, those who slander his name without warranted will be held accountable for their words. At the top of this report, I wanted to highlight that this case is not usual, and therefore approaching it like a usual case may not be the best thing for all of those connected, especially those who may be innocent, given the highly emotional subject matter, as people who look like Wells desire peace of mind and knowing that they can't just be mysteriously found unalive and no one can give a clear explanation to what happened. On Tuesday, as a way to challenge myself again of what I heard on the audio and without the influence of a transcript, I also heard another possibility. What if instead of hearing, "Is he dead?" it was, "It's dead," referring to the bilge pump? And the one that left everyone shocked, what if Nolan was actually no way, as Panic said on the boat?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Now, if this is the case, there are still other questions, like Wyatt Pyron's grandfather appearing to call the sea tow captain directly to cancel help, as Wyatt was on the phone to get help. Questionable things about that call still stands out for some.
Now, I want you guys to realize that questions are not the same as accusations. He just posed a question to you about why would it do this then? Why did the grandpa do that? Questions are not accusations, all right? Questions are questions, and I'm going to show you that. After I show you there was a pretty big interview where the Nolan Wells family disputes Officer Tatum interview. Then we're going to go into the debunking everything. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. I say maybe another half an hour, 45 minutes. Come on, guys. We can do better than that. Hit the like button, subscribe, get a membership, super chat, super sticker, all that. Thank you. All right. We're going to find out if it goes to trial because they're going to have a pro dissect it, and they're going to bring up the legitimacy of that woman and her enhancements. It's all going to come out. Hopefully.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of.
Watch this real quick because they're demonstrating. Somebody did this on TikTok. They're demonstrating what could have happened. All right. And it says, and it could be from either side. I don't know. It says, I find it weird he couldn't answer such a simple question. Just if you're watching it, you should, if you're listening, try to watch it.
And our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Angles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Like, just help me.
So again, as a full presentation of all the facts continues to be withheld from the public by those in position to give it, people will continue interpreting how they see it, whether it be for their own safety and curiosity. Speculation grows where transparency lacks to exist. Let's talk about it more in the comments below. Now that we know that Bart and his family have responded with a lawyer, I think the lack of day-by-day updates from officials was the best thing to do regarding the case. Reporting live from Hyper's Club.
All right, that is everything's in my description. This is Hype channel, and they've had some pretty good things out there, some pretty good interesting information. And if you notice, they play both sides. They're asking the hard questions without accusations. All right, thank you so much, Clark, for helping us get to that goal. I do appreciate you. And then Caroline, thank you. I pray for all parents involved. They are all going through their own hell. We want the truth, and we want 7 more for Jay. Thank you. Hey, if we even get close to that, I'm not greedy. All right. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that, though. But let's listen here, and then we're going to get into all the debunking. And I'll just give you a quick overview of the debunking. Conspiracy claim that they drowned Nolan and dumped him on the island with Katie to hide it. Police and other conspired with body camera to withhold it and a footage cover-up. Toxicology proves that he was drugged by someone on purpose. The autopsy was falsified or rushed to protect officers, and prior complaints against officers prove intent to kill. And I have more than that too. I just want to give you an overview of the claim, why it spread, and what the evidence base really is. All right.
To swirl around the death of Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old who was found dead after boating with his friends on 4th of July weekend. Wells' parents and their attorney, Ben Crump, spoke with Chris Cuomo earlier tonight, and Nolan's mother said there's only one question she wants answered. Watch.
At the end of the day,
Monday.
we would want what any parent would want, which is answers to find out what happened.
Rightfully so.
They also listened to part of an interview that Brandon Tatum did with one of Nolan's friends, and here's how Nolan's stepfather responded to it.
You heard that kid Trace in the interview say that he was friends with Nolan and that you guys would know him. Do you know him? Do you recognize him?
No, I don't. Just because you park your vehicle in someone's yard doesn't mean that they have to know you. Sounds more to me like he's more focused on getting people to know him and getting away from the fact that his so-called best friend is not here anymore.
Brandon Tatum is the host of the Officer Tatum Show, and like I just mentioned, he spoke with some of Nolan's friends. He joins us now. Brandon, thank you for being here. So first, just your reaction to Nolan's stepfather saying he doesn't recognize his friend Trace.
Now, he's done his due diligence as far as researching, investigating, going boots on the ground. All right, Turtle Island, I believe, is on Monday night now. Mabs, you guys go sub up to Mab. Let's get him to that 5,000 goal. I want to see someone else cover this. One of my creator friends. I want to see how people respond. Definitely some hate out there, right? Right.
who you interviewed, basically alleging that you didn't know him very well at all, if at all.
It's slightly disappointing. I mean, I don't know these people, to be honest. I don't know who's really friends or not. I'm just going off of what Trayston told me. But Trayston did share pictures of him with Nolan at prom. He told me he not only just parked the car outside, he had been over Nolan's house multiple times, and he also gave Nolan a ride to school on multiple occasions. So it's very confusing. I don't know why a young man would say that he's friends and
If he
literally
wasn't.
be emotional when he talked about Nolan. I mean, he literally cried and teared up off camera.
There you
And
go.
I felt like it was very genuine. And for the parents to say that they don't know him at all and won't even consider the fact that he believed he was friends with Nolan, it's very shocking to me. And I don't know if they're being genuine, because you don't always know your children's friends,
Right.
or are they still trying to hold on to this agenda that no one who disagrees with the narrative of racism can possibly be associated with them, because it destroys their money. Well, I'm not saying the parents' money grift, but Benjamin Crump's money grift.
Yeah, I mean,
Trump
you
money
heard
grab.
from Nolan's parents, and of course his mother. Any parent would want to know what happened, and she expressed that. But there are motives with Ben Crump and his history. There are lawsuits now suing his friends and social media companies fueled by Ben Crump. Do you think that he's helping this family or hurting them in their quest for answers?
Well, Katie, I think he's destroying the reputation of this family and also hurting this investigation. The fact that he put out the autopsy prematurely when law enforcement didn't even put out the autopsy it can convolute the investigation, because now when you interview witnesses, you don't know if they are saying things because they saw it on television or have they genuinely had an experience only they would have if they were actually there at the scene. And then also, I want to believe his mother. I don't have any reason necessarily, because I don't know her personally, to believe that she would just lie. But when I look at the facts, why wouldn't she communicate with with Warren and their family? They showed me text messages, they showed me phone calls where they called and reached out to her. And if I personally want to know what happened to my child, the first person I'm going to talk to is the people who last saw him alive. I don't understand why they take the position of saying it's us versus y'all. And now you want to subpoena phones and do things like that, which are going to take, I don't know, months for it to come out. And they may not even be granted. I mean, you got to think, Nolan was an adult. He wasn't a kid. So some of these social media platforms may not even grant them access to his account if they don't have somewhat of a legal search warrant. So I just wish that they would have come together as a community and got to the bottom of this.
Right. It is hurting the investigation. And if anyone doesn't see that, then I would like to know what it's doing for the investigation. If it's helping, I'd like to know how, because now it's just caused a divide, in my opinion, between the families and Nolan Wells, between races. Guys, some of the people, the guy that was his best friend, the interview with his best friend alone, right? That was a longer interview. We only saw a snippet of it. I just don't understand. I did not mean to do that. Hold on. We're almost done with this so I can get into
information
that.
and then shared it to the public instead of, making it a divisive thing up front.
Yeah. Brandon, we're still waiting on the toxicology report, but from interviews with Nolan's friends, we do know that drinking heavily was involved, and that Nolan Wells was drinking. And you have on good authority that drugs potentially could have been involved as well. You also visited the island. Just what are your takeaways from what we know about the conditions there and the status of the investigation?
Well, at this point, and I always encourage people to wait until the full investigation is out before you make a conclusion or a determination of whether somebody's guilty or not. Going out to Horn Island was very revealing to me, because the initial statements from people who are talking about this, especially the Nolan Wells family, that they were acting as if they just dropped Nolan off at an abandoned island where no one was around to watch him get murdered or something. And then now you go and look at it and you go, well, no, that was
60 witnesses, probably over 300 people. All right, you say if they're guilty, they now can get their story straight when interviewed. Right. And they would have let things out. They would have let things out that we could hear. Now they've lawyered up and they're not talking. Right. Well, here's the thing, is that it's part of it now. I mean, I agree that it's trauma to an extent, but the lies being told that are pointing at what happened simply, in my opinion, just didn't happen the way they say it did. Right? President.
People there. That gives me encouragement that somebody saw what happens, but it also proves in many ways that they didn't just abandon him as if he was a little kid on the island by himself. So seeing the island go in there gave me a pretty good understanding about what happened.
Well, certainly injecting race, and we don't have all the facts either, is not helpful. And we will continue.
Definitely not. All right, let's take a look at the conspiracies and debunk them with the facts. Guys, hit that like button. All right, by focusing on the boys, we are taking away time and energy. Well, it's not just me focusing on the boys, but it's the investigation focusing only on the boys absolutely is taken away from the investigation. All right, they had 2 days to figure this out. Absolutely possible. Well, absolutely, we don't know anything yet. All right, so let me just tell you the things that we don't know, but that people are claiming. Nothing that you can prove. And then we'll get into it visually. Okay, conspiracy claim they drowned Nolan and then dumped him on the island with Katie to hide it. Why it spreads? Well, because graphic social posts, photos, and anger about perceived racial bias and emotional storytelling. Listen, there's no credible public evidence that shows deliberate drowning or staged dumping. The coroner's report, EMS medical records, and police timelines are the primary source that will determine the cause and manner of death. If those documents list a medical cause or do not list homicide by drowning, then the claim is unproven. Allegations of intentional drowning require forensic proof, water in the lungs consistent to drowning, injuries consistent with assault, toxicology showing incapacitation by a third party, and criminal charging decisions. Okay. Police and others conspired to withhold body cam and footage to cover up a killing. Delays, redactions in footage release, and distrust of institutions. That's what I'm saying, why it spreads. Now, delays and redactions are common for an investigative and privacy reasons. They are not proof of a cover-up. Public record logs, release dates, and redaction explanations show what was requested and when. If footage is withheld unlawfully, the remedy is a court order. Cite whether the family sought one. All right? Now, toxicology proves he was drugged by someone on purpose. Well, how would you get to that, and why is it spreading? Because the presence of substance in a toxicology report, people assume malicious administration, but toxicology alone does not prove the third party administration or the timing. Toxicology shows what is in the person's body and what concentrations. Interpretation requires medical context. All right. Many substances can be self-administered, metabolized, or present at levels not causative of death. Forensic toxicologists and the coroner combine toxicology with autopsy findings to determine contribution to death. We don't have any of that. The autopsy was falsified or rushed. Speed of the public statements and distrust of a local coroner. When you go hire your own people to investigate and you say the law enforcement's covering it up, they're doing a shitty job, well, that's what you get. Autopsies follow a chain of custody and documented protocols, independent autopsies or peer review, and the remedy if the family disputes the findings. Ask whether the family requested an independent autopsy and what it found. We did look at that. The independent autopsy that we looked at showed it here. All right. Well, it's that boring, Tiff. Okay. I hope not. Okay. Last but not least, prior complaints against officers prove intent to kill, and that's past misconduct allegations are used to infer motive. That's what they're claiming, that it's corrupt. Law enforcement's hiding things. Prior complaints are context, but not proof of criminal conduct in this incident. Administrative complaints and criminal charges are different standards. All right. So I'm going to continue. They drowned him. Yeah, we can go through all that, but let's get to this. That is the independent autopsy that told us really nothing yet. And we do not. I heard someone talking about having the results back of his lungs, the autopsy, and determining whether he has water or why the lungs couldn't be examined, etc. Now, guys, whether the water was present in the lungs or not, whether the airway showed signs of drowning, whether the stomach contained water and sand, whether the neck structures showed trauma, none of that has been determined, and the state autopsy results have not been released. There's no evidence indicating that Nolan Wells had water in his lungs or not. The initial autopsy removed the lungs before the independent autopsy, and the state autopsy report has now been publicly released. They said it wasn't, but also they said, I thought it was weird. I don't know anything about a dead body in the water, but they say being in the water for a day or two will cause heavy decomp and do things to the body that make it hard to test. If water is found in the lungs, then it would indicate how the drowning is, and that's how it's normally confirmed with all the things I just said. Now let's get to this one. All right, this is exclusive new evidence proves viral photo of Nolan Wells at the pool party was taken on June 27th. That was a whole week before he was reported missing on 4th of July. All right, to Horn Island. There he is back there, and they're saying it was that day he came back. Look, he's back there. That was after the boating trip. No, it wasn't. Look at the date. Saturday, June 27th, 2026.
When it comes to the case of Nolan Wells, there's been a ton of weird conspiracy theories that, in my opinion, are really racially motivated and are here just to divide us. Now, if there's a smoking gun that points to racism or anything, I will cover it. I'm trying to get to the truth. What I'm not trying to do is spread misinformation online.
Yeah.
Now, in this video, I'm going to be debunking some of the more popular wacky conspiracy theories involving the Nolan Wells case. First, let's start off with this photo of Nolan Wells and his friend group. Now, this photo was circulating around on the internet like crazy when the Nolan Wells case started to heat up. And now that we got metadata, we can see that the photo was actually taken on June 27th, not the night that Nolan Wells went missing, because that was the crazy conspiracy theory. I mean, look what someone posted on Facebook and the internet just ran with it. This random profile said this: Nono didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our friends Nono and Wyatt. They got into an altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, because Wyatt took his phone and Evan was trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, "Give me the fucking phone back. Nigga, what's wrong with you?" So they calm him down. And pretty much what they're saying is that they head to the house, right, where the picture was supposedly taken. He talks about them drinking and those sorts of things, and people were high. Then they talked about them getting into a pool, and apparently there's these people named Lucy and Natalia. And pretty much they said that Andrew, Evan, and Wyatt and Warren were basically recording and laughing, saying, you know, get him. They're saying that they were jumping Nolan Wells. And
again, we're putting out the things that people are saying. All right. Dr. Edward says a 22-foot Triton fiberglass fishing boat, such as bass boat or bay boat, has a maximum capacity of, exactly, that's what I was thinking, but 7 to 8 people would depend on how much they weigh. Though for safety and fishing, it's best See, that's what I was thinking. It's not a very big boat. They had a ton of people on it, and that didn't even include those 7 people that were on the boat. Didn't even include Nolan on the way back because he wasn't there, allegedly. All right, yeah, go sub up. All right, we don't need to keep reading that, but that was stating there was a fight. There it is.
AI video that was going around online, and a lot of people thought this was Nolan Wells in the video getting beat up and thrown by his group of white friends after hours on Horn Island. Not only did the community notes say that it was AI, but we even had the autopsy report, right, the independent one, that said there was no fractures, no evidence of deep tissue injury anywhere on his body except for a red discoloration in the back of his head. Don't you think if he was getting beat up like that, his body would be more damaged? Also, the park rangers do a big kind of roundup and, you know, get everybody off the island after hours on Horn Island. Don't you think they would have seen a group of kids jumping Nolan Wells on the beach? Plus, we got legit GPS data that tracked the boat that Nolan Wells was on all the way from leaving the island at 4:30 p.m. all the way till docking. And
so this is the evidence that we have, and that's all it is. Yeah, there's a ton of AI stuff. That one's not AI, but there is a ton of AI. Thank you, Troy. Yeah, I think so too.
then getting picked up at 7 p.m., the boat never went out again. So that couldn't have happened. And plus, Nolan Wells was wearing blue trunks, but that video blew up too. Now, the next one is from some random person online, again, posting stuff that they think is true. She's saying in this post that this is a video of Nolan Wells fighting with a friend shortly before he goes missing, when we know in this viral video, it was proven not to be Nolan Wells. In fact, they actually sit down with the guy who was actually yelling in that video on Horn Island.
That they put out on the internet claim.
And see, this is the problem here. I mean, the reason I even responded to this, because new information was coming out and I was waiting for some big revelation today from the family. That didn't happen. But like I said, people that are just sitting there scrolling all day on Instagram and just locked in on their phones and computers, they're hearing these and they're seeing these AI videos and they're saying, look at what happened. He got jumped by a bunch of white dudes, etc., etc. Right? The common person that doesn't do true crime, cover it, research it, that's just scrolling through stuff, is painting a narrative of what happened. All right. And I hope someone that received the membership wanted the membership. All right, let's continue so we can be out of here soon. I just gifted another membership, guys. Come out of the bushes and say hello. All right.
Claiming that Nolan was saying, give me my effing phone back. The coach came out, Nolan's coach came out and said immediately he knew it wasn't Nolan's voice. And obviously it wasn't Nolan's voice because you were the one that was
me yelling,
in there yelling. You got into an altercation with somebody.
Now, another thing is that this picture is the most.
That was him. So either he's bold-faced, lying, a master manipulator, or they were all drunk and high and things went down and Nolan lost his life, but we don't know that it was directly connected to these guys being racist at that.
Most viral picture of Nolan Wells leaving to Horn Island with his friends, and they only show him with a group of white kids. And like you saw in the video I just played, there's obviously brothers and mulatto guys in there too. And to be honest, Nolan Wells wasn't some person that you may think he was. Just listen to this photo collage that comes from his own Instagram showing him and his friends.
If that's the case, I'll find it right now. I definitely can't be playing this music. All right. All right, stop the music. Please don't.
Conspiracy with the Nolan Wells case is the fact that people are wondering, why would he leave his phone on the boat? Like, what the heck is going on here? Now, here's the thing. When you're swimming through a body of water, you usually don't take electronics with you. And again, this is from Nolan Wells' best friend, Javon, who actually went to the island with them, just went on a separate boat, but people don't mention him because it doesn't fit the narrative. And another conspiracy theory was, why did Nolan's mom have to go look for his phone? What was up with the location? Why was it showing a different location on Snapchat, but the mom had Live 360? Why were the friends hiding the phone? And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and insert a video that I already made, but put it on 1.5 speed, talking about Javon going to the island with him and then the whole phone and mom situation.
One of the common misconceptions is that Nolan went to the island with just these three friends, when in fact they were accompanied by his best friend. He was just on another boat, and that friend is Javon Williams. During the search for Nolan, a reporter actually spoke to Javon, and this is what they got from him. Wells headed to Horn Island on Saturday with friends. His best friend, 17-year-old Javon Williams, said he was supposed to be on the same boat, but it filled up. Williams rode out on a different boat, but he saw Wells on the island. He believed that he saw Wells for the last time after 4 p.m. on Saturday.
All right, let me pause it real quick. I am looking for it, and Solar Winds, amen to that. Amen to that. I hope these people that are making stuff up get sued for everything. Why would his friends of 5+ years just jump him? All right, let's just think a little bit more clearly and about a suspicious tow, a freaking boat that's sinking. Tow. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like the Titanic. It's, you know, you're gonna panic. You're getting all high with a bunch of people that are underage, 21 and over, that can't drink. All right. Did you hear the yayo? Yeah, I heard about the yayo. I'm not surprised though. That's the rich man's drug. The yayo is the rich man's drug. I am looking for that autopsy though that you guys said is breaking.
While on Horn Island, Williams said Nolan was hanging out with a girl and chatting with another group of friends in the crowd. Both young men left their phones on the boat that Wells rode out on. Remember, Javon and Nolan each arrived on different boats. It's interesting. And then of course, Nolan's mother later found her son's phones through location services, right?
A phone call around 11, 4th of July. Hey, have you talked to Nolan? And I'm like, no, where's he at? So then my friend Tashima was so helpful in tracking his phone down because everyone was looking at the Snapchat location because all the kids follow each other. But I was looking at Life 360 and I'm like, I don't understand because I'm literally looking at his phone like it's at someone's house. So thankfully my friend did go grab the phone for us.
Now that last part is really important. Remember, the phone was left on the boat and the mother was tracking his location the entire time using Life 360, which tracks your location in real time. And remember, the only way the friends could track his location is through Snapchat. But Snapchat, unless you grant it special access, it's only going to track your location when you have the app open.
Her two sons, Jalen and Javon, they grew up together. They played city league sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, like, okay, the boys were pulling up a location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location was completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. Like I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
So that would explain why the mother's not seeing his location on Snapchat. The friends are not seeing his location on Snapchat, but on Life 360, she can see his location. Now, the mother said she sent a friend to get Nolan's phone. Where did she find it? Did she find it in the boat? Did the friends have it on them? Were they trying to hide it? That's very important because it would really kind of fill in a lot of blanks that we have because a lot of people are assuming that the friends were kind of hiding the phone.
Now, stick with me. This part may get a little confusing, but on that same morning show with Ben Crump on national television, the mother implied that Nolan Wells' friends may have deleted Snapchat stories, Snapchat messages, or text messages. Well, we wouldn't know because she never handed the phone over to law enforcement for a forensic analysis. Now, you also heard her say on Good Morning America, in her own words, that she tracked Nolan Wells' location, or what she thought to be Nolan Wells' location. She was actually tracking his phone through the Life 360 app. Now, that app will track your phone no matter what else is going on with your phone. You could be doing any other thing, but it'll tell you the speed your car is going, all sorts of things, right? That is an app that'll always track you. She also mentioned that the friends were confused on where Nolan Wells was at because on Snapchat, his location didn't update. So in order to delete messages on Snapchat, you would need to open the app. And if you open the app,
and guys, when they do the forensics on that, they will find out. I got you right now, Troy. I got you. Right? This is the breaking news. I'll pull it down. I'll pull that down real quick so you guys can see that the state autopsy has been completed. All right. Today is July 30th, 2026. All right. Nolan Wells' state autopsy has been completed. Officials tell NBC. There's Mr. Nolan Wells, and there is July 30th at 1:45 p.m. Mississippi's medical examiner has completed Nolan Wells' autopsy. Now, they're not letting me, let's listen to it because they're not letting me play it. Oh, they're not letting me play it. Okay. They're trying to get me to pay for it, guys, and I'm not going to put that in right now. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Let me get that. They got to do their due diligence, right? Let's remove that. Put that back up there. All right, so it did come out. Let's take a look. Let's see what they say. Is it foul play? Nolan Wells independent autopsy. Let's see if I can get it to do that. That's not it, guys. Nope. Does anyone have a link that I can use? That is not it. I am on YouTube, but I can't. Okay, let me look on YouTube. Independent autopsy. I didn't plan for that today, so I didn't know. But okay. Independent autopsy. Nolan Wells state. All right. I don't know why they do that. You can't even. All right. 1 hour ago. There we go. There's the breaking news, guys. All right. Here we go. Remove that. Put that up. All right. Here it is. 1 hour ago, this came out, and this is NBC News. 19,000 views in 1 hour. All right. Here it is. Is there foul play?
That state autopsy report now in the hands of investigators. The results have not been made public. The examination of Nolan Wells' body was conducted on July 7th, one day after he was found dead at the Barrier Island, where he spent the 4th of July holiday with friends. This as new video surfaces appearing to show Nolan at different points during the day. The Officer Tatum podcast posting surveillance video from the boat launch where Nolan and his friends departed on the morning of July 4th. The podcast also airing video, and NBC News analysis confirms is from Horn Island on July 4th. You see dozens of boats and people in the water, the show's host claiming Nolan is among them. Another clip aired on the podcast appears to show Nolan's friend's boat being towed. Nolan does not appear to be on it. One of Nolan's friends who traveled home on the boat said they left because the boat malfunctioned and that Nolan decided to stay behind. Meanwhile, Nolan's mother, as administrator of his estate, making several legal moves this week, sending subpoenas to several social media companies for information and content from his accounts. Today, Nolan's mother again asking her community to speak up.
We are begging, if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline.
Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC.
That was a nothing burger, guys. Breaking news. It came in, but we don't know if it's they say there was at least 300 people out there. All right. So I mean, do you see what's happening? They're not letting us know anything about it. It's under seal, probably because what's happening, guys. Medical examiner completed the autopsy, but they're not going to tell us the results. And I'm looking at 2 days ago, Nolan Wells autopsy reveal. Nothing happened. Nothing's happened. NBC, it's the same article. We learned that the state autopsy is finished. The results have not been in yet. All right, let's finish debunking, and then y'all will know everything you need to know, and then some. Now I'm waiting for real information to come out, because I don't feel like that's real information.
It'll update your location. So how can you delete Snapchat messages without updating the location? It just doesn't make sense. Now, this next conspiracy that I debunked is so insanely wonky, but again, this stuff is being amplified by people like Ben Crump. I already made a video on it, so I'll play it again at 1.5 speed.
Screenshot is coming from a woman named Kimberly, and someone with the name of White Lotus Living left a pretty damning comment if true. She's alleging that the boat was cleaned at 3 a.m. 3 days ago. All of this information is coming from the Instagram of Ben Crump, which, look, none of this is verified, and I'm going to get to the bottom of these two photos in this video.
I'm Kimberly. I'm a former law professor with a JD LLM, a musical artist, a comedian. Okay, now this raises some alarms. I don't know if this is true, but I've just read that they...
Okay, so the allegations are coming from this Instagram account, and pretty much they're saying that the boat that Nolan Wells was last seen in was actually seen being cleaned in front of Judge Cole's house at 3 a.m., which would be obviously super suspicious if it was happening. So I took it upon myself to see who White Lotus Living is. How would they know this information that not a lot of us know about yet? White Lotus is a small business, and they use their Instagram account for advertising. And after looking them up, you can see that White Lotus Living is an Australian store specializing in wellness, spiritual, and home lifestyle. They sell things like crystals, crystal healing kits, sacred smudge kits, etc. At first I thought, why would a person in Australia know anything about things that are going on?
This is wild, man. People are coming out from the woodworks, and guys, it is a cash grab. If you don't see a cash grab, I don't know what it is. Literally, a lady that claims she's helping the family and she's getting hate. She needs $50,000. Go donate to her, guys. It makes no sense. They're doing the fast talking. That's not my fault. He's doing it because he doesn't want to get copyright strike or whatever, what have you. Deb, it didn't show anything about any lungs. There's been nothing that's been completed. All right. I know. In Australia, you're in Australia. Hey, who is the mom going to blame if they're going to continue blaming anybody that's white? Maybe. I don't know.
Mississippi. And then I thought, well, maybe the domain is just registered in Australia, right? You see this all the time, especially with drop shipping. And then I looked at their reels and realized that, oh, they're actually doing a in-person showing of their merchandise. And the location is in Kirribilli. And Kirribilli is a place in Australia. Now, why would someone in Australia know anything about what's going on in Mississippi, especially intimate details like that? Or maybe this person just knows that the people that are dumb enough to believe random comments on the internet are probably dumb enough to buy their gems and crystals and those sorts of things, and they're probably just doing a little bit of advertising.
Not only was that account based out of Australia, but that person actually had their website made in Australia, and they frequented, again, those farmers markets that happened only in Kirribilli, Australia, before and after the incident happened. So how would they know the judge's mom or the judge's family was cleaning out their boat at 3 a.m.? It's just ridiculousness. And now the newest wacky conspiracy theory is the fact that people are claiming that when his friends, right, Warren, made a distress call to the...
And this is the very last one, guys. I hope that something stuck through this. I'm absolutely not here to push any narrative. I'm just telling you how I think and what I see happening in this case and what's been presented. You guys, anybody can make any accusations because we haven't got anything since day one, essentially. Same old playbook. They use exactly. I'm telling you though, they got it. They're not dragging their feet necessarily, but they can't release it because we have parents out there that are suing, kids lawyering up and being accused of the most heinous things that could ruined their entire life, and they had nothing to do with it. If they had nothing to do with it.
Boating services so they can get help because their boat was taking on water, you could hear Nolan Wells in the background. If you think that you can analyze that audio, people on the internet, and know exactly what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. You are way past the point of no return. But we did get information today from people that are close to the investigation from law enforcement that say that there are two people that they interviewed, because remember, law enforcement is working in the background. Cases don't get solved in 3 weeks. These things take time, okay? Especially a case as complicated as this one. There are people that say they saw him on the island after the friends left. So how could he be on that boat? And plus, why would you make a call to get services while you're murdering a person?
That to me, that makes 0 sense. Grifters and that Ashley Brantley already had. Why though? What for? What? I can't understand what they're collecting money for from this case. I'm telling you, it is messy, Kim Watts, and it's a huge cash grab that's causing racist accusations. I agree. They don't have No-No's Mississippi edition, hopefully. Crump can't even read. He's a race baiter and trying to get money. This is all BS. How many times has he done this? That's how he makes money, by lying. Thank you. I would rather blame that on the poor. I'd rather blame these race bait lawyers for doing a cash grab than the parents. I think the parents are just as much victims as their son is, and they're also being threatened as well. But we didn't need to create that narrative.
Person, that's so stupid, right? Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. These are
all right. Debunk the junk. We haven't heard anything that has any relevance past what we know on day one. So look, Nolan's family friends are getting, Nolan Wells' family is also getting online threats.
Has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island. Sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews. They are just sick.
Don't do that. And he's saying that he doesn't like it. He doesn't want his clients to be getting death threats. So why put out this racial narrative where these kids are now getting death threats?
Evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child.
But that's not what is happening. They are saying they want to know what happened to their child, but they're planting a narrative right at it. I know, right? There you go. They're not going to tell us. Yeah, they're not going to tell us, guys. Somewhat missing after July 4th boat trip. His body was found days later. What happened remains a mystery.
That all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him.
Now, guys, I respect that, and I wish more parents would advocate for their children like that. I believe when they say they just want to find out what happened, but it's more likely that they're never going to find out what happened when they push this narrative. Everyone's just going to be quiet, all right? And this clip, and then the last one with them suing the kids. That's it for today.
Because Nolan is not here.
Since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her.
Okay, so now listen, with this new information, with Nolan Wells' family subpoenaing multiple social media and tech companies, maybe we'll find out some more. But now it's going to be sealed. The fact that everyone's suing everyone, they're not going to give us that information, guys.
Parents of Nolan Wells are turning to his social media accounts, hoping they contain clues about his death. And they want the companies behind them to help. Because from the moment her son's body was found in the water off the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Christine Wansley has raised questions about Wells's Snapchat account. And now court records show the mother is requesting messages, photos, videos, and other records from Snapchat, also Instagram, TikTok, and the family tracking app Life360. She has also sent legal notices to Wells's friends, telling them to expect lawsuits and to erase nothing from their phones. And this morning, one of those friends who was there on Horn Island July 4th is taking legal action of his own against online personalities who he says defamed him by suggesting he's a suspect in Wells's death. Bart Edmiston said it has exposed him and his family to death threats. This case is really becoming increasingly litigious even before the authorities have concluded what happened to Nolan Wells.
Sure is, yeah. The investigation continues.
Ongoing and no timeline for
and
a
the
break.
family.
Yeah, that is rough to put out some narrative that we have no idea. At that, I'll leave it there. News articles were saying he was spotted. Yeah, I saw that earlier. They interviewed 60 witnesses, and they say at around 6 o'clock, 2 hours after they left, 5, 6 o'clock, whatever time that they left, he was there prior or after, not prior. All right. So that being said, guys, we lost like 100 people towards the end, and I'm okay with that. If you guys are new here, do me a favor and hit the like button and get your notifications. I will be back tomorrow, same place, same time, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. If there's new information that's coming out, then I'll tell it. But I don't think we're going to get new information other than what the narrative is being spun right now. Those are the people that were aboard that. Let law enforcement interview them. Kids will usually tell on themselves. It's a higher probability of kids telling on themselves or telling on other children than any other person that would. They're children. They talk. All right. So that being said, thank you guys. Love you. Thanks for being here. And hopefully I presented this in the right way that I could say, okay, here's both sides. And this is outrageous, this side, because there's no evidence. And here's why there's not evidence, because we need this, and this. All right, guys, love you. Go take your meds, do your due. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Guilty of crime. I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime. Are you guilty of crime?